バンドリガールズバンドパーティー、ポッピンパーティー、キラキラドキドキしたいな。
アフターグロー、今日もいつも通り行こ
パステルパレット、みんなで最高のステージにしようね。
ロゼリア、このメンバーで頂点を目指すわ。
ハローハッピーワールド、世界を笑顔に。モルフォニカ、輝く景色を一緒に。
レイザー水蓮、暴れる準備はいい？
個性豊かなバンドメンバーとライブを成功させよう。リズムゲームパートではゲームオリジナル楽曲がたくさん遊べる。さらにライブ背景を MV にして遊べる楽曲も。そしてリズムゲームの体感もパワーアップ。有名カバー楽曲も続々登場。知ってる楽曲でたくさん遊べるよ。最大5人での協力ライブが可能。みんなで協力してライブを成功させよう。バンドライフを楽しむアドベンチャーパート。ラウンジでは次々に交わされるメンバーたちの会話が見られるよ。日常やさまざまな会話を楽しもう。私たちと一緒にキラキラドキドキする毎日を過ごそう。バンドリガールズバンドパーティー大好評配信中。始めよう、私たちのバンドライフ。
Hello everyone, we are back and it's time for round 5 of Weiss Schwarz. And this time we have some different decks.
Yeah, it's not SAO.
Just throwing that out there. Not SAO anymore.
Yeah, you can put out your sigh of relief.
SAO will be tomorrow. Most definitely, I think.
Yeah, unless something goes terribly wrong in Swiss.
Yeah. But this time we have 2 decks that we haven't seen today. But probably have seen like before.
Yeah.
All right. So let's kind of take a look at our first deck. We have Sandy playing Bang Dream, and this is Kasumi. Yeah. Kasumi, a door Kasumi build. Got some interesting stuff in there. Right. I remember I played Bang Dream a while back. That was when you were running Yukina, but nowadays Kasumi's pretty good.
Yeah. So this is a build playing the new level 3 Star Kasumi. At the end of the attack, if you have combo, you can pay 2 to burn 2, and it prevents your opponent from doing auto damage during the card's battle for a turn cycle. So it can play both offense and defense, but she herself doesn't heal, so you have to time it pretty well. The level 1 combo is the traditional something in the warehouse combo, so you just you do your door combo, you control your deck, and then you land on Kasumi and you do your thing.
Nice. And then the deck that we'll be seeing on the other side is what we've seen for a while now. Not Kuro.
Sorry.
That's this from last time. But we've got Yamino Okami with Nino.
Yep. So
8 standby.
8 standby quintessential quintuplets. So this build of the deck recently got an additional restriction which stops it from playing the Ichika Brainstorm, which is not in this deck, alongside the other 2 restricted cards. So the restricted card in this deck is the level 0 Nino, which Yami is playing 3 copies of. So that's probably the one which has the most added mulligan consistency and salvage options in the early game. But deck management can get a little bit tougher than playing the Brainstorm. But, you know, the top end output is still there, so still pretty decent deck, I would say, nonetheless.
All right. And with that, if we're ready, we can jump into the game and see Quint again. I haven't seen it for a while. It's been replaced by other series. It's their favorite, yeah?
Yep.
But also Bang Dream. I actually haven't seen Bang Dream that much in a very long time. I think the last most popular build was it Raz, right?
I think it was the Morphonica build we saw.
Morphonica,
yeah. Last year. Well, Ras plus Morphonica, because it put up the finisher and level 1 combos were Morphonica, but I think the main draw to the deck was the Ras early playset. So yeah, you know, we're in the middle somewhere.
I got half right.
Yeah. Well, the main part, like, I think the highlight was the Choo Choo and Pario early play stuff. Anyway, it looks like Sandy's starting off with the level 0 Sayo. It's a bottom deck bomb for level 0s, and if there are no other rested characters in the front row at the beginning of the encore step, you can pay 1 to rest it. So that stuck some damage. I think Yami probably doesn't want his level 0s being sent to waiting room, as they can end up being standby targets.
It's pretty good. Like, this card just kind of sticks around, but also has some pretty good utility when it comes to like Hololive matchups. So we want to just get rid of things.
Yeah. So in this case, Yami has that level 0 Ishka there, where if it goes to the waiting room, he can pay 1 and clock the top card of the deck and reveal 2 from top and add any quintuplets characters. So against conventional decks, that card will possibly get you up to 2 cards. But in this matchup, that Sayo might pay 1 to keep itself and then throw itself at the Ichika to deny it from gaining card advantage.
Yeah, because that Sayo was pretty sticky.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, it does cost stock, so Sandy does need to be a bit careful, I guess, sometimes on the stock expenditure. Although it's probably a fairly good trade to pull it off right here.
Yeah, but Yami was able to get out a standby already.
Yeah, that 1/1 is probably going to be staying alive for quite a few turns. I don't believe Sandy's playing any costed level 1s.
No. Actually, there is a costed level 1, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, the only one is the
Anti-change.
anti-change bomb. So I think, that card's gonna be uncontested for a while, unless somehow Sandy is able to play the 1/1 alongside some power. But yeah, because just for this 1 turn, I think that that Nino's gonna be just fortified. But judging by the way Sandy's playing the turn, I assume that's not gonna be what's happening today. All right.
We're just going to see a triple Kasumi come down.
Possibly. I don't know how many of the have the event have left the deck though. So there's at least 1. I think we saw 1 earlier. So right here, Sandy can salvage a level 2 or lower, and he's gotten a second copy of the Christmas Kasumi.
It's an old combo.
Yeah, it's been around since 2017 or so.
Yep.
Yeah, 6 years later, it is still putting in some work.
I mean, it didn't get released in English, but there was a PR that used to go with this.
Yeah, that one's banned in Japanese and unreleased in English for probably a good reason.
Hyper consistency.
Yeah, I don't know how good it would be right now, but at least if it had come out back then, it would have definitely
pretty good.
caused some problems.
Really. Bane Dream's also one of those unique decks right now that do have that stock swap at level 2, albeit on an event. That means also costed lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to draw it, but yeah, it's just a 1 card from hand, 1 stock. So it costs less, and also because the level 3 Star Customer in this deck is able to draw 2 and discard 2 on play, it's fairly reasonable to expect that you'll draw it off there if you haven't seen it already and haven't kept it. So yeah, Bangram is able to stock swap when it wants to in most games.
Yeah. Setting up the field
so
here.
Interestingly, Sandy has searched for the level 1 Sayu, probably to play in a following turn, and then he's placed the Yuki on level 0 facing the level 1 Nino, which is lower in power. So I would have thought that he'd put the level 1 Kasumi in front, so even though it doesn't reverse the character, at least you can just front without losing soul and leave up a lane, whereas in this case you'll have to
Probably siding, maybe?
Yeah, he'll have to choose between siding for less damage or fronting and just losing the card, which given that Yukino can bounce itself when damage is cancelled, it seems like a bit of a waste.
Side, is it?
Yeah, I think,
Front?
yeah.
It wouldn't really make sense if you sided, fronted, I mean, if you're doing this.
Yeah,
Wait.
I would assume that it's a side for whatever reason that is, but
Looks like a
front here.
front?
Yeah, I think
Is
yeah,
it big? Oh no, does it have power? Does it?
It's only 4/5 due to Yami only having 1 other character, but I don't believe that Yukino can hit above 4/5 anyway. So that was probably a side for 2 that cancelled on the first. Oh, he just jumped it. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I was like looking at I thought the the Kasumi was running into the.
No.
That's why there's a center marker. So
Yeah.
That's the power of center markers.
All right, and Yami has succeeded and had 2 cards to hand. I guess he's pretty happy there that he saw a Sayo come out on turn 1, but his Ichika still resolved going second. So that sort of mitigates the disadvantage of going second in terms of card advantage, because he just gained 2 after 1 dying. So just clock draw 2. Yeah, he clocked away the level 3 Ichika that he added off the top 2 ability, which he kind of wants in his waiting room when he hits level 2. So it's another good setup.
I mean, here, what do you do now? Because you know your opponent has the Sayu, right?
So Sayo is a 1 stock 1 hand answer to
Yeah.
a 0 cost card that you played out. So it's not a terrible trade, although you do kind of want that continued value from the 2/2. So I'd say that if Yami can avoid it, he can probably just put the 2/2 in the back row and then play a 1/1 in the front to contest the Kasumi. That way Sandy kind of just has to keep holding the 1/1 for whatever scenario.
Or you can just make him use the 1/1 now, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, with 3 stock, right? What do you do next turn?
Yeah,
You
it's
use,
not a...
pay 1. Maybe you brainstorm 1 as well.
Mhm.
Your stock would just go really low.
Yeah, and then if Yami can bring out another level 2 if he stays level 1, level 3 if he goes up on the following turn, then the Sire has to be re-accessed. So yeah, I think even though Sandy did preemptively search that card, it's not Yami sort of does get to choose how Sandy plays it. Or
I
at
mean,
least-
one way though is that you can search for it and just show it to your opponent and let them know, and then it kind of influences what they want to play next turn. In a
Yeah,
way.
because Sandy searched it first, Yami can kind of just decide based on that information now.
Yeah.
Although it is open deck list, so he probably would have known that Sandy has the card in the deck, but as opposed to like weighing in the odds or anything.
No,
he
but when
just
you like search it to hand, you're like saying I'm
Yeah.
prepared for you.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Yami might be like, I don't want to play the 2/2 now. But then Sandy's like, yeah, that's all according to Keikaku, right?
Yeah,
And it's like the layers.
yeah.
But
yeah.
what is the last thing that's gonna come out? Like empty slot right here. That's a perfect standby.
All right, so it looks like Yami is just gonna go out and play the 2/2, which
Do it anyway.
yeah. Which I mean, as I said, he's getting that card out for free, where Sandy had to pay 1 clock 1 to search for the Sire, and then he has to pay 1 to
one.
play the card, and then doesn't get to keep that card either. So
Yeah.
it is definitely a good trade in terms of just pure resources. I think if Yami can get out another costed character in the back row here, it would be pretty advantageous because it forces the Sayo while also getting something out of the standby. But
I mean, this is the card.
Yeah.
It's 2/2. We've been seeing this for a very long time
that
now.
he attacks with the level 2 first. I think typically standby decks want to attack with the smaller stuff first, so you can.
But he has an
replace them.
empty slot, so I guess it's,
I suppose, but if he triggers another if he triggered a standby here and on the next attack,
it's bad time.
yeah, if it's standby. Yeah, the timing's not too great. So no triggers this turn, it seems. But all right.
Takes the damage in the last one. Goes to 1/6 on
Yeah.
Sandy's side now. But now this Nino is like relatively weak on defense, right? You play anything down, and you should be able to run over it.
Yeah, the 2/2 Nino isn't very much expected to easily survive on defense, but it's more by just continuously keeping up 227k 1175, something of that sort. Your opponent, if not playing a standby deck, has to continuously put big cards there to fight it and
Deal with it.
yeah, so eventually your opponent uses more resources than they're comfortable with, or your 2/2 will come back, is the general plan. But I think Sandy's just going to go ahead and remove the Nino from the board this turn. But on the other hand, the 1/1 is surviving, so I think Yami is kind of fine in terms of card advantage.
I feel like there's not much you can do about that 1/1, because you have to commit more than necessary to it, right? While with like a 2/2, it's hitting for 2 soul instead of 1. So,
Yeah.
it's much more damaging if it stays on the board. But on the other hand, again, the 2/2 has encore. But just make them use that, right?
Yeah. So I think, yeah, as quintuplets doesn't have stock swap, like putting stuff up like this to make your opponent use stock, so you don't have to stock swap you don't have to encounter situations later where you really want to stock swap, is generally better than just saving your own stuff. Because the longer the game goes, typically quintuplets will be in the tighter spot. So quintuplets kind of just wants to play the game at a speed where the resource advantage it gains from standby starts counting, but not so fast that it gets just overwhelmed by soul. And I think at the moment, Yami could probably be in that range. All right, and then so Sandy did level up, which means that 1/1 is not surviving, but he has gone down to 1 stock to play 2 answers on his board.
So I remember that Remy that was played out. That one's a old card, but does so much work.
Yeah, it's that's also an anti-change bomb. It reverses the opponent's character if it's higher level than the player. And also when it attacks, it gives another character 1,500 times the number of events in the waiting room, which I think
Big
this
power
deck
pop.
is playing. Yeah, if you just have like even 2 events, that's plus 3,000, which is quite a bit.
Yeah, like the cool thing about that card is that you can make 2 lanes hit over pretty easily.
Yeah.
Just from the power buff alone and just its own power. And worst case scenario is you can reverse it into an early play and just get 2 reverses off like that. It just gives you options, like you can either run over something or just make sure it's gone.
Yeah. Against decks that really want to keep their stuff, the characters unreversed on defense, that card often just ends up being an answer for 2 lanes just with 1 card. So yeah, it's very potent. And I think quintuplets is not quite that type of deck. It sort of wants to make your opponent struggle over the course of multiple turns. So Remy is obviously still doing something here, but I think it's not as strong as it would be against certain other matchups. But that being said, he didn't put the Remy against the 1/1, so that level 1 Nino is coming back.
And then this is a trigger, but it cancels.
Cancels. Yeah. And then
One more attack.
because of this attack order, Sandy triggers a soul icon here and Yami takes it. That 2/2 may not be removed from the board. That is a door, which means that it is definitely getting removed.
Gets another one of the Rimmies.
Yeah. Alright. Oh wait, no, that is.
2 now.
Oh, sorry, there's a climax there. So which means he is taking 2. Which means that Yami levels up, so that level 2 is no longer a higher level than Yami himself, and therefore that Sayo will not out it.
Just give it power. Or maybe not.
Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, he did pump power to it. So yeah, it just means that he doesn't have that dilemma of, well, if I cancel, yada yada. But right, no, generally like you kind of just expect to encore that card anyway.
Yeah, you turn a bad card into like at least a 227k that becomes big when you combo.
Yeah.
Or an
Like,
attack.
Yeah, assuming both players stay at level 2 next turn, Sandy has to find probably a costed card, play the costed card, and then he's able to contest that 2/2, whereas Yami just discarded probably the weakest card in his hand. So yeah, over the course of turns, that card does kind of put in some value in a sort of like relative sense, rather than you just gaining cards though.
And yeah, both sides looking pretty good at the moment. Nothing really too imbalanced, I have to say.
Yeah, I think though, them both being on the same amount of damage and similar amounts of stock, but it's currently Yami's main phase. I think Yami is probably in an overall advantage, both in resources and in terms of damage. He just sort of needs to maintain his deck state to not just take a wad of damage against Bang Dream. You know?
Kind of, even if you're compressed, you can still take a wad of damage.
Oh yeah,
It's never confirmed.
Yeah, you need to manipulate the odds. So
Yeah,
it looks like
but it's just I think it's interesting that Quince is pretty much like the quintessential rush deck. in a way.
I guess yeah, it's surprisingly more aggressive than like the image you get from hearing 8 standby.
8 standby.
Yeah,
It's
especially coming out of the Mushoku format we had last year.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people had this kind of like defensive board focused image of an 8 standby deck, but yeah, Nino is quite different to Mushoku in the sense that you're not so focused on keeping your board up than making your opponent trying to deal with it. Yeah, so I think all that given, Yami is probably putting up some decent aggression here, and hits the brainstorm there. Yep.
What?
All right,
You
so
get
he's
the
getting ready for the level 3.
Level 3.
Yeah.
Normally you want to stand by these out, right?
It's a bit hard to say. It's slightly better to stand by out the Ishka heal and then just play this out of your hand, so you do get the heal value.
There's a bunch of ways to like how do you say it? Like cheat out cards, I guess.
Yeah,
Not just through 8 standby, but each card as well. It's pretty good at cheating it out.
Yeah. Like ultimately, you're just meant to top off your game with your level 3 finisher turn. So whatever you find to be the most efficient way of getting that minimum double finisher plus something else is usually what you're aiming for. So Yami has played the level 0 Nino there and shuffled back 2 copies of the level 3 Nino, which gains a standby icon if you have the relevant climax in the climax zone. So yeah, what I think he's going to do is he's most likely going to play the level 3 climax to bring something out, and then after that he's going to try and trigger those level 3s, and then if he does, he'll get even more stuff out. So he's just bringing more big things onto the board.
This is like, I think one of the big turns when it comes to Quince is that you thin the deck down, you put the level 3 Ninos back, and then you do the combo and you just call out a big field, right?
Yeah. The thing with that line of play though is that because quintuplets isn't really a deck that wants to defend its board, so like make your opponent have difficulty reversing your stuff.
Yep.
Even though you bring out a lot of stuff, your power line doesn't get like as big as you'd sometimes imagine. And then even if you win, the cards that are good at defending your board on defense aren't usually the ones that do more damage at the end of the game. Yeah,
So
so
you're at
just-
a dilemma on which one to
Yeah.
choose.
It's a bit of a dilemma. I think oftentimes when you only have one climax, one of the level 3 combo climax, you just keep it in hand and then use it on your last turn. Because trying to draw into your climax later in the game is also sometimes a bit difficult.
Yep.
Right. So this time, Yami did attack with the smallest one first, jump attacking in the middle. That one damage sticks. So if Yami is able to trigger climaxes from here on, he can start replacing his weaker characters. Climaxes or level 3 Ninos, that is.
It looks like the top 2 check.
Top 2 check granted by the
There it
level
is.
0. Yep.
So that's pretty much a standby right now.
Yep, that has gained a standby icon, so he's able to bring out any character from his waiting room onto the stage. I think he is contemplating what to bring out. I think the options are basically any character with 2 soul or cost 2 at the moment, I believe.
Value.
Yeah, kind of just playing for value, but he might. It's like he's replacing the front row with the changer.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's
That usually doesn't stick, right?
Yeah. So in doing that, I'm not sure if the opponent processed. Yeah, that is okay. Sorry. Yeah, by playing that card out in the
Another
front,
standby.
yeah, your opponent does have to. They do have to deal with the card, but it's not too difficult to do so. I think.
Yep.
Because that card is just 9/5. That Kasumi, for example, it's 6/5 if you play 2 other characters, 1k from the climax, and then you just need another 2k on it, and all of a sudden Yami has to use a counter to defend that. And I don't think Yami's deck has a great many counters that give power. Maybe like 1 or 2 at most, but yeah. So yeah, it becomes a card that Sandy has to answer, but also shouldn't have too much difficulty in doing so.
Okay. What's the Bang Dream game plan at level 2? Is there anything special with it? Just do level
Bang
1.
Dream has a nice selection of early play heals.
Yeah.
I think the 2 or less early play heal doesn't have a lot of power, so but it is enough to contest Yami's board, I suppose. So yeah, I think Sandy's probably just gonna be healing a little bit here, and then using those characters to try and contest Yami's board.
Yeah.
And then I think the ideal scenario is Sandy hits level 3 next turn with not too many cards in clock, resolves the combo, prevents Yami from ending the game, and then pushes more damage in the following turn to try and win there. But
And just so you know, like the Ichikas to the viewers that got standby out, they have like a pay 2 burn 1, right?
yeah. So the reason Sandy needs to probably deal with those is it has those Ichikas have an ability where you can pay 2 and rest her to deal 1 damage to the opponent during the main phase, and then you can return Ichika to the hand during the climax phase to play out any quintuplets character from your hand, regardless of level. So it lets Yami go into an early finisher turn if he wants. He can play out the early play Ichika, the yellow one, for free, and then discard a card to gain 1 stock while healing. He can even return Ichika to hand and just play the same card down to basically pay 2 to burn 1 for without the rest cost. So there's just a lot of ways Yami can use that card, but in any case, it either does damage or gives them stock in some way. So yeah, it is something that Sandy needs to deal with, and Sandy does seem to have the answers, but he again
Double
went down. Yeah, double Remy and a Sire, but again he's gone down to 1 stock. So
Yeah, he's pretty much just been in low stock for a very long time, right?
yeah, which you can still do triple Kasumi with 4 stock if it's just playing the card, but because it's end of attack burn 2, you need a little bit more than 4 to resolve your triple combo, which I think you generally want to set as like the goal of this deck. So yeah, just counting events. I
Swinging in with
suppose.
a Rumi now.
Yeah.
Pumping up power.
So that Ichika's gonna get reversed, as there is no way for Yami to hit level 3 here with the amount of damage Sandy's doing.
Takes it. Well, I think Was there a climax put down as well? Or no. It looks like just.
There is
Oh,
climax,
there is.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, there. I see it. So this is one more damage as well. So it could be a 3 or a cancel.
All right, but yeah, regardless of that damage, Yami's level 3 will be reversed. But I suppose it's down to whether Yami considers the forced trade worth it. So like, if the fact that Sandy kind of got forced to play that 2-1 down on this turn is overall beneficial in Yami's eyes. I think the fact that he played a climax could be considered a decent payoff, and he lost a climax there, but also does cancel this one. And then the middle should reverse. Yep.
There it is. One more attack.
I suppose so. Yeah. But yeah, Yami's back row also does have 2 level 3 characters. So even if the front row gets answered here,
he's already ready for the next turn.
yeah, it's completely ready. You can just encore the 2/2, and he's got 3 attackers next turn that attack for 2 soul base.
I mean, if the hand has 2 more of the level 3 Ninos, which I think it is, right? Because it was aggressively searching them out. Can literally just like combo with the Ichika and put them down.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could go for that. And even though it does seem a little bit early, if Sandy just pulls off his combo, he won't be. Yami misses the opportunity to burn there anyway. So doing it a turn early is, in this matchup, a little bit better than it would be in some others.
Because later on, you won't be able to, right?
Yeah, especially because Kasumi doesn't heal. So like, in a lot of other matchups where your opponent's on 3-0, you stick 3, they just heal down 3, and you don't feel like you really gained anything out of that. But in this matchup, your opponent can't heal 3 while putting out their finisher. So any damage you stick has a much bigger impact on the game, I think. So yeah, looks like Yami did. Encore is 2-2, and his level 3s come back. He's still on 2-1, which means that if he has the level 3 Ichika, I don't think he does. But
I think you just go, right? Because the thing is with Nino is like you have reach, right? So even if your opponent is still at level 2, random 3 hits in, you're dealing quite some decent damage.
Yeah, it's alright to go here, I think. So it looks like he clocked up, and he's got looks like a sizable hand of around 6 cards. Yeah.
Just got one each, because that one can come down. Like burn 1 and come down. That's like the strong part of it. As long as you have enough stock, which Yami should have.
Yeah. All right. So Yami plays a level 0 Nino, and it's contemplating which
maybe
ability.
not gonna move things up.
Yeah. So he's discarded a non-Nino, which means he can reveal the top card of his deck and salvage an XLR where X is the reveal card's level, so that's a 0. And then he also has the option of discarding a Nino named card to draw 1, but based on what that top card is, I don't think he's particularly keen to go and draw it. I think he's just looking at the number of climaxes that have left his deck, and he wants to go through using maybe that level 0 Itsuki that he just grabbed there, but that does require him to lose a card or leave one of Sandy's unreversed. Bit of contemplating going on.
Lots of thinking.
Yeah. Alright.
Moving up. Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Moving back. Moving up. What players will do that? They'll burn with this, deal 1 damage, bounce it back and call down like a heal stock, and then you put it since the front row can attack. Right.
One thing is that because both of Sandy's front row cards are anti-change cards, if Yami decides to play attack with a level 3 into them, it's gonna get sent either to the bottom or just gonna be reversed.
It's gonna be reversed. Oh, true, that blue one is also a
but Yami could just change that level 3 into like a 2/2 or something if he wanted, and then you still get the 2 soul attack. You basically gained a card.
Moves it back now.
Yeah.
Swap again. Maybe just gonna call something down. Something down.
Alright, so he hard plays a 2/2, okay.
Wait, hard plays the 2. Wow.
It does pay out the 2 level 3s that he triggered in the early turn, which I think he wants back in his deck. But yeah, that's interesting. I thought he would have maybe burned with the level 3 Ishka to pay out the 2 and then change that into the 2. But
Still doing it.
all right,
Maybe he wants to put in the
yeah,
the-
okay.
not really the. It's kind of different, I guess.
Well,
We're just
I
gonna maybe he's gonna
suppose-
leave it and just burn one every turn.
yeah,
Is it
yeah.
possible?
I mean, that's a line that you can take. When you're this ahead on damage, you can just like turn your stock into more damage. All right, and then he's changed the Ichika into a Nino to heal 1, which he's keeping in the back row for this turn.
Kind of sets up for next couple of turns too.
Yeah, so if he's ready to combo, he can just go for that. If not, well, you know, he still has that 12-5 2-star swing.
This one's going for 3, I think. This one's going in as well.
All right.
Sandy on level
Yeah, that's
2. Is it 2 or 3?
That's level 3 with 4 cards. No, that's not, I think it's 4.
The
Or is
last
that
one a
5?
card? It might be a picture.
So it's a bit hard to tell.
Yeah.
We're not playing this on a super zoomed in.
Cancel.
Yeah. So Sandy is still in the game, but it's gonna be hard to turn this 1.5 level difference into something.
Yeah, it's just things have been going pretty well for Yami.
Yeah.
Here.
He's kind of been he's been forcing Sandy to deal with his board with costed but 1 soul characters, while Yami himself is getting 2 soul characters for free using standby.
And also, this is where kind of, you know, the early stock that you've used is coming back to kind of bite you.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
4 stock to work with is not a lot in one day WS. Now Sandy has to figure out what the game plan is from here. Because Sandy does run a lot of defensive tricks in the deck that we mentioned before, but you know, you need to be winning lanes.
Yeah, yeah. And then Sandy doesn't have the stock to go triple Kasumi here. So even if he's able to do his play out triple Kasumi, he's going to leave up at least 1 lane where he can take burn damage from the level 3 Nino. Not to mention that the Ishka from, if he decides to play Ishka from hand, he could just burn during the main phase.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like he's in somewhat dire straits. I missed what he revealed there, but looks like he's getting a level 0 Akko there. Alright. Oh, or not. Alright. But yeah, I think at this stage of the game, Yami doesn't have a whole lot of hand or stock, but he's just ahead enough that he doesn't really need to worry about any of that anymore. So the trades that he's kind of forced on his opponent to take have have changed. It's moved the game back in his favor. Alright, so
Whenever
that's an unusual card.
Feels good.
That is Tai Hanazono from the first set, which just has the full name of the character. It has the ability where if it's fronted, you can look at the top card of your deck and put it in top of the waiting room, I believe. Or no, sorry, it's when you take damage. It's one of the two. But yeah, as Sandy is not playing the combo, it kind of just serves as a big character with that ability, which these kinds of effects are obviously much stronger when you're on lower damage, because you just have more instances to use it and make it count. But when you're this close to losing the game, I think that card is obviously better than nothing, but probably a little bit less effective than just straight healing. Anyhow.
At least he's able to set up one of the Kasumis on the board, right? Because that's the one which everything revolves around.
Yeah, so he might have a copy of Living But Dead, I believe it's called, the event, which reduces the soul of the card facing Kasumi by 3, which could possibly buy him a turn by turning off 1 attack, but at the same time, I'm fairly confident that Yami at this point would probably just have the climax to start doing more damage. So even if the soul damage on one lane is turned off, he has enough other forms to do it with.
Straight up -3 soul.
Yep. It is also completely free to use, aside from the fact that you have to use a card. So, I believe, yeah, they're just making sure that cards go to the correct zones, and then trigger a door with no cards in waiting room, so there's nothing to salvage.
2 damage.
2 damage lands, and Yami is still fairly comfortably on 2 and 4 after that cancel.
2 and 4.
Yeah, and then he has multiple 2-soul characters on the board, so he has all the damage he needs, I think. It's not impossible for Sandy to survive this turn, but
It's a bit rough.
it's
right?
rough, and even if he does, I think in terms of resources, it's gonna be a bit difficult for him to push for game on the following one. Alright, and then Yami looks like he's just gonna send just level 2s to waiting room, which Sandy's on 3 and 5 there, so
Yeah,
he only needs to-
Yami's ready though.
yeah, he's
Just
got-
move up.
yeah, you can just move his cards up, and that should probably
2 Ninos is already pretty good as long as it's got the climax combo associated with it.
yeah. Contemplating a clock draw, it looks like.
Yeah,
Yep,
clock
so
draw.
clocks the change for 2 cards.
And Sandy's like 3-5 at the moment. So it's 2-2. Extra damage from the Ninos. No empty spots though. I think the annoying thing about the Ninos is that even if you do have the -3 soul, right?
Yeah.
You're still dealing 3 damage.
Yeah. In fact, like the damage from the effect is more than the actual damage she swings for enough of the time. So you're not turning off like the main source a lot. So in this case, I guess it's better to stop the 2 because the 3 is 1 extra.
Yes.
But right over here, yeah.
This comes down to if they have it.
Yep.
Get
And
the draw.
just
I
seeing
think
this-
you need the salvage first before the draw, right?
I think it depends on the scenario. If you're gonna draw anyway, you should generally draw first. So you can see the top part of your deck before you start attacking. But if you're only gonna draw under certain scenarios, you can probably just salvage first, check the top card, and then if it's something you want to draw, you can go draw it. In this case, it looks like Yami was probably gonna go for the draw depending on some scenario, but looks like he just says double combo here, so
It's good.
yeah.
Good. But if you knew what your top deck was, you're like one of your sides could be swinging for 2, right?
Yeah, so you can use that information to work a little bit. Alright, so
Trigger
it's
blank. So this is precise.
Yep, and I think
Wait, was that a side?
no, that should be a front, I believe.
Huh. Actually, the side.
So I'm not too sure what happened here.
Was that?
Oh no, sorry. I think he just said that the damage landed in that's game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. That was a bit confusing.
So-
Yeah. Oh no, there's 2 cards there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We just didn't see it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think feels bad a bit for the Bang Dream, right?
I suppose so, but it is somewhat it is somewhat like something that Yami forced in the game. Like, by putting out stronger characters, he continuously puts Sandy in the dilemma of, well, do I use resources to deal with this card, or do I just let it slide and keep hitting me for more damage than I'm putting out? And I think with enough of those dilemmas pushed onto Sandy, Yami just got the lead. And I think in terms of damage taken and damage cancelled, it was maybe a bit above average for Yami, but it is like sort of one of the outcomes.
I mean,
that
it is
he
what
created.
it is what Quince is just built for, right?
Yeah,
Just,
like it's somewhat above average, but it's still within the realms of like what you can force on your opponent.
And it just felt like Sandy after that maybe level 1 combo, nothing really went their way. But I guess it's also because you just don't have that much stock to be able to do too many things that you want to do, right? So yeah, that's I think it's just kind of unfortunate. It still shows why Quince is still quite strong.
Yeah, the card power is not really dropped at all. So, you know, if it's just that against SAO, not having a stock swap can be a bit of an issue. But
Yeah.
against like most other decks, it's still very potent.
I mean, do you think now that SAO is out, basically, if your set doesn't run stock swap or doesn't have it, it just is a bit worse, you know?
I think, yeah, it's having a stock swap in your deck definitely like bumps it up a notch in terms of just playability. It's not the end all be all, because I think SAO does require you to somewhat deal with both the stock issue and the board issue.
Yep.
But yeah, if you can only deal with boards, sometimes SAO just runs away with decent cancels. So I personally would be a bit uncomfortable with not having stock swap in my own set, but you know.
But, I mean, there is a set that has stock swap and SAO. That is SAO.
Yeah. yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think in the Japanese version there are some titles which fare decently well against SAO without stock swap. But those are the ones that have continuous answers for Alice, which is more efficient than getting the Alice out on the board. Which, it's basically like how Kaguya plays with back row combo plus level 2, but Kaguya just incidentally also has stock swap, so
got a bit of everything. So yeah, Kaguya's still that game that we saw before with the Kaguya was still pretty impressive on how it went. So really cool how that goes. But yeah, for that, I think that is the end of round 5 for us. We'll be back very soon with round 6, and there will be a round 7, should be, right? It's a 7-round tournament today. I think it's a bit more for AO this time, right?
Yeah.
Last few times was 6, but there's a few more. Now we're hitting that 7-round timing. So stay put. We'll be back very soon for the next, nearly the finals of today.
Time to show off the best performance on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Intro deck and booster pack, Bang Dream, Girls Band Party, 5th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. The Academy was the Girls' Orchard. The popular visual novel series joins the stage of Weiss Schwarz. The Fruit of Grisaya trial deck and booster pack. Coming soon. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. 10 years journey with Sword Art Online. Now on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Booster pack animation Sword Art Online 10th anniversary. Now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. It's time to show off the best performance on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Intro deck and booster pack, Bang Dream, Girls Band Party, 5th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. The Academy was the Girls' Orchard. The popular visual novel series joins the stage of Weiss Schwarz. The Fruit of Grisaya trial deck and booster pack. Coming soon. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. 10 years journey with Sword Art Online. Now on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Booster pack animation Sword Art Online 10th anniversary. Now on sale. Bushiroad.
バンドリガールズバンドパーティー、ポッピンパーティー、キラキラドキドキしたいな。
アフターグロー。今日もいつも通り行こう。
パステルパレット、みんなで最高のステージにしようね。
ロゼリア。このメンバーで頂点を目指すわ。
ハローハッピーワールド、世界を笑顔に。モルフォニカ、輝く景色を一緒に。
レイザー水蓮。暴れる準備はいい？
個性豊かなバンドメンバーとライブを成功させよう。リズムゲームパートではゲームオリジナル楽曲がたくさん遊べる。さらに ライブ背景を MV にして遊べる楽曲も。そしてリズムゲームの体感もパワーアップ。有名カバー楽曲も続々登場。知ってる楽曲でたくさん遊べるよ。最大5人での協力ライブが可能。みんなで協力してライブを成功させよう。バンドライフを楽しむアドベンチャーパート。ラウンジでは次々に交わされるメンバーたちの会話が見られるよ。日常やさまざまな会話を楽しもう。私たちと一緒にキラキラドキドキする毎日を過ごそう。バンドリガールズバンドパーティー大好評配信中。始めよう私たちのバンドライフ。
Weiss Schwarz. It's time to show off the best performance on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Intro deck and booster pack, Bang Dream, Girls Band Party, 5th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. The Academy was the Girls' Orchard. The popular visual novel series joins the stage of Weiss Schwarz. The Fruit of Brisaya Trial Deck and Booster Pack. Coming soon. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. 10 years journey with Sword Art Online. now on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Booster Pack Animation Sword Art Online 10th Anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad.
バンドリガールズバンドパーティー、ポッピンパーティー、キラキラドキドキしたいな。
アフターグロー、今日もいつも通り行こ
パステルパレット、みんなで最高のステージにしようね。
ロゼリア、このメンバーで頂点を目指すわ。
ハローハッピーワールド、世界を笑顔に。モルフォニカ、輝く景色を一緒に。
レイザー水蓮、暴れる準備はいい？
個性豊かなバンドメンバーとライブを成功させよう。リズムゲームパートではゲームオリジナル楽曲がたくさん遊べる。さらにライブ背景を MV にして遊べる楽曲も。そしてリズムゲームの体感もパワーアップ。有名カバー楽曲も続々登場。知ってる楽曲でたくさん遊べるよ。最大5人での協力ライブが可能。みんなで協力してライブを成功させよう。バンドライフを楽しむアドベンチャーパート。ラウンジでは次々に交わされるメンバーたちの会話が見られるよ。日常やさまざまな会話を楽しもう。私たちと一緒にキラキラドキドキする毎日を過ごそう。バンドリガールズバンドパーティー大好評配信中。始めよう、私たちのバンドライフ。
walk
Weiss Schwarz. It's time to show off the best performance on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Intro deck and booster pack, Bang Dream, Girls Band Party, 5th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. The Academy with the Girls' Orchard. The popular visual novel series joins the stage of Weiss Schwarz. The Fruit of Grisaya Trial Deck and Booster Pack. Coming soon. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. 10 years journey with Sword Art Online. Now on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Booster Pack Animation Sword Art Online 10th anniversary. Now on sale. Bushiroad.
Hello and welcome back to the Bushiroad Rumble Online 2023 Weiss Schwarz Asia Oceania stream. We're going to be hopping into round 6 of the tournament soon, and I think this is where people kind of start getting on edge because losing this round can very much make or break whether you make top cut or not.
Pretty much, yeah. You did that very well, mate.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Got the whole thing in.
Yeah.
This time we have another unique deck that we definitely haven't seen yet. So I think this should be quite exciting because whenever I see these new decks that we haven't normally seen, which is just basically not an SAO deck, they have to have tailored their deck in such a way to beat the current meta. So very excited to see what Ruby will be doing to beat this matchup. What do you think? What do you think?
So this also is playing what's this 8 choice Ruby here, and he is playing 4 copies of the Weiss, which gains power when attacking a level 2 character. So I think he's going to be using his level 1 combo to pump that character up out of counter range and then stacking the on reverse combo part onto that as well to then just transition into the finisher, I suppose. So yeah, it has some very clear outs to SAO, and that's very good. And I'm also kind of curious about that 1-0 event.
That event is so long.
Yeah. I believe the text is that you can either choose to pay 2 or discard a copy of that level 0 Old Man Vanilla from your hand. And if you do, you look at the top 5 and add 2 characters from among them. So
2?
Yeah. So
2? Wow.
Well, it's 2 costs to gain 2 cards, or
Okay.
use 2 cards to gain 2 cards. So I'm curious how that's going to be played during the game.
All right, and then Zizos will be up against Lacrima, who's playing your good favorite Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
And we've pretty much seen this build. It's a Lorem Ipsum build.
Yeah.
But no, this is just pretty much the Silica build with Silica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is slightly closer to the average build than the Silica build we saw earlier in the stream. It plays
Plays heals.
Yeah, it plays plays the level 3 Asuna early play heal. It also plays 1 copy of a 2/3 event which prevents 1 opposing character from dealing damage that turn, as well as 1 copy of Demonic Sword Gram, which prevents the opponent from using any counters for the rest of the turn, as well as popping 3k. So it stops your opponent interacting with your finisher turn, as well as letting you just win the board on offense in crucial turns when it comes down to it. So yeah, it's probably the most conventional Silica build that we've seen.
Yeah, and this should be very, very interesting because, again, it's the build that is not SAO. How have they tailored to build to beat SAO? We'll be able to see it. All right, will SAO prevail, or will the techs that Ruby has selected beat this matchup? All right, when you tech against something, you don't always beat it.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work perfectly. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it just comes down to how it is in the game. So if we're ready, let's jump into the game. Lacrima is actually a local Australian player, quite well known. So it'll be Australia versus the United States. But I'm pretty sure I've seen Zizos' name quite a few times at the tournaments as well.
I believe he's been on stream in at least one previous Bushiroad Rumble Online tournament for the AO region. So yeah, he's a returning player for this event.
Yep. And then here, looks like the SO is starting off.
Yep. So direct attack with the level 0 Nismi. So yeah, if that character gets sent to the waiting room, Lacrima will be able to look at top 4 and add a level 1 or higher card to the hand. So solid start. Meanwhile, Zizos has played 2 copies of... Sorry, the names of the characters in this title escape me, but it's 2 copies. Pyrrha, yes. It's a card that may optionally go to memory when it's reversed, and you have 2 or fewer cards in memory, and you can also top 3 add a character, discard 1 when it's reversed. It is a condition for some other cards, but as Zizos is not playing them, I believe, we probably don't need to worry about that. So Zizos has triggered a choice there, and he can choose to gain hand or stock. He might take the hand here, seeing as he's down to 4 after playing the Brainstorm. And
swing twice.
yeah, I think it's a solid start. You don't want to fall behind on stock because SAO just gains stock so quickly. So if you need to use resources to get the cards to answer SAO stuff, I think just getting that early game stock here is pretty important. This also opted to stock here, so I suppose he decides hands fine.
Interesting to also say that SO early game really isn't that spectacular. The whole point of it is just to get to your level 1. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's not it doesn't do a lot, but at the same time it still has like the utility and the power, so it reasonably contests your board, but it doesn't do anything like incredible.
Insane.
Yeah.
No clean cards.
No
runners or anything like that. Even average level 0s can kind of get over it.
Yeah. Like the most it boasts is that it sets up well for your level 1 game. It has some decent hand fixing, and you can hit with 4K using Asana. So it has like enough. It's very powerful for what is effectively just a setup level 0, but it is at the end of the day still just a setup level 0 lineup.
Yeah.
So that's a climax swap, which
actually going for it now.
yeah, Lacrima is using it right here to salvage a choice in exchange for the draw.
Setting up for level 1, but that means 1 less stock to play with. You're gonna have to commit. And there it is, a triple commit.
And Zizzo's playing the second 2K there. Not only did it give him stock, but it looks like one of them is going to come back. So yeah, that really paid off for Zizzo's. But
Nice.
On top of that, Lacrima also triggered a choice and gained 1 stock here. So if he's able to hit level 1 next turn, he does have enough stock to probably go into his Alice. He just needs to have the milling options, which I think he probably will be able to, given the cards that we've seen so far.
Double administrator. It's a nice way to, if they survive, pretty good card to stick around.
Yeah.
To clock yourself up. And if all goes well here, is what Lacrima have 4 stock going into level 1, and 5 stock.
5 stock, possibly.
Maybe 5.
Might take the hand here, but
Yeah. 4 is generally fine, right?
yeah, 4 is kind of the minimum you want, and then if you have 5, you get a bit more range in what you can do.
And there it is. Adds to hand. Could cancel on Zizzo's side.
Yeah, I think Zizos is perfectly happy to cancel here. Lacrima's board is not all that powerful here.
Yeah.
There's 2 cards that he can deal with. So if Zizos just has enough characters to just hack with, I think this is a... And yeah, he just clocked away at level 0, so I'm pretty sure that he does have.
Yeah, and it's kind kind of funny. You look at this board, a triple attack, but a 2K still remains.
Yeah.
Because there's just no power from some of these cards.
They're just kind of there to, you know, make sure your opponent doesn't get to keep everything, and then make stock. And, you know, if you don't need them later, you can send them to stock with Alice. If you do need them later, well, they have utility effects. So that's kind of just what SAO does at level 0. And this was, yeah, being able to get back that level 0 and stay here at relatively low damage, I think it's a pretty good opportunity to just play out a front row.
Because Zizzler's here, I think very important just to get rid of the administrators. But
Yeah.
committing like two attacks here is fine. 3 is pretty good though.
Yeah.
Three
So
would be
he's
perfect.
used the ability of another character whose name I've unfortunately forgotten, but he has paid 1 and put the top card of his deck into Clock to add back the level 1 Jawn combo to hand.
Amber.
Amber?
They're all Fall Maidens.
Yes. I believe. Yeah, Amber sounds familiar. Alright. Okay. So yeah, this was
Third card or not?
third card or not? Yeah.
Third card or not?
The Brainstorm does have an ability where if Zizzles can reverse one of Lacrima's characters, he can assign 500 power to one of his characters.
So you're gonna chain it.
Yeah, he can chain it, but because the 2 cards in the front row only have 2,000 power. Ah, sorry.
1,000
No,
power.
the Amber gains power on. So that doesn't matter. But regardless, yeah, he can assign the additional power when he needs. And it's a Yang clean cut.
Oh.
Right, so when Zizzles gets a reverse here, he can move one of his characters to the back row. But that being said, I'm not entirely sure if he actually wants these characters in the back row so much. It's 2 on the Brainstorm. Right. That's quite a few climaxes out then.
Might skip a level next turn.
Yeah. He has though put up 3 characters in the front row, which are not going to be reversed this turn. So he could possibly skip a level if Lacrima triggers a lot of soul icons, but he does have some measures to not take too much damage.
Well, we're talking about SO, they can put cards back into their decks.
Yeah, that's true.
You can probably get like
Yeah.
2-3-3 is already pretty devastating. If they all go in.
Alright. Oh, so Zizzle's actually just letting his levels of reverse here so you can look at the top 3.
Oh, losing
that is
another climax in the process.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about that line. Because Zizzles isn't he isn't going through his entire deck this turn. That Mill could have hurt him at equal odds of helping him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the top card of his deck being a choice means that he would have triggered it anyway had he not used it, but in that case he would have gained a resource in some way or another. So
I think it was just a normal card.
yeah, that was just
Little sideways.
yeah, it looked a bit sideways, but no, that's the level 3 Yang combo.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was
Cancel.
probably overall better for Zizzles to just leave up the card.
Would you pass here then? They just cancelled.
No, I
before.
think because Lacrima can just use the administrators to level up. I don't think it's worth
No,
it.
but he's already losing it in administrator.
yeah,
You know that the criminal was like 3, I think.
yeah. But a standard SAO list should also be playing the level 0 Leaper, which can re-access that card. So I think overall the risk is outweighed by. So the reward is outweighed by the risk.
True. Okay, pushed up to 1.
Yeah.
Now Lacrima can possibly combo. Let's see.
Alright,
How?
yeah. So with 1 use of that Ironclad, I'm sure he can go down to the right number of cards here. 5, 6, 7. Looks to be about 12 cards. Couldn't get a perfect count there, but anyhow, he has just sent some cards to the waiting room with Ironclad, and he has sent at least 1 card with a Soul Trigger, so it looks like he's getting the level 1 Brainstorm. He's moved some of the level 2 Alice's to the bottom, so he's getting ready to set up. Then to... Alright, and... He's got another one. Looks like it was a bit more than 12 last time, maybe 15 or so. Alright, and this time he's gotten the... Leafer, okay.
Leafa to get. Well, he's already putting 2 back. Okay.
Yeah. I think by the looks of things, he probably has
1 left in there.
yeah. So he can kind of just start doing it now, and depending on how he mills in the next few brainstorms, he can pivot using Leafa.
Is it better to put just all 3 in plus an extra, or put 2 in first and then brainstorm and then?
I think generally it's slightly better to start with 3, brainstorm, and then when you mill 2 at the same time, you put the extra one plus the one that's already in the waiting room. I think overall that yields slightly more cost-efficient results, but yeah, it's you don't get the same combination every time, so it also somewhat depends on whether or not you want the cost efficiency or the guarantee, or like a higher chance of getting cripple, etc., etc. I think in this matchup it's better to have a higher chance of getting cripple, because you
That's
should
1, I think.
be able to force more out. Yeah, that's 1. So
Again,
yeah, that
I'm
looks
just
like
considering.
is that 8 cards?
Gotta be very careful with the numbers. I think that's a miss.
Yeah,
So
so that's the third one.
2 more chances left.
That one
That's
hits,
1.
yeah.
Yep.
So I think from here, Lacrima can
Put 2 back.
probably- Yeah,
Yeah.
put 2 back and then brainstorm one more time. By the way he's doing things, I think he might not have another level 1 brainstorm in hand, but he does have the Leafa, so there's at least a 50% chance that he can salvage a level 1 brainstorm if there's still 2
Leafa grab the Solterio.
Yeah, with Sortalina, in that case, yeah, you can go into. you can s-
I
yeah,
think it's confirmed, right?
Yeah, if you can, that way you can confirm it.
Because I think is there 2 in the deck? I think
I
the
think
last 2 could be
Yeah.
2.
it's either one in the waiting room, 1 there, but in any case, he should be able to guarantee it, unless the last one's in his hand and he forgot to discard it with the Leafa or something.
Could have taken a risk by playing over the 1-0 with Leafa and then salvaging it.
Yeah, you could, but I think it's probably fine not to at this sort of stage. And then
Which one is? I think it's at least. Oh,
so it looks like
there's a 1-0 right there. Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's in his hand and what. Yeah, it's very hard to tell because like the optimal way of doing things just
Can be different
it
every
can be
single
yeah
time.
depends every single time. Like
A
what
climax swap.
So it looks like his hand's pretty ready then.
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
just have
yeah,
another
that's-
copy of.
So just put down the brainstorm, and it's time to win, right?
If there's any SAO players who are currently watching this and they're not too confident on getting the correct scenario every time,
Oh, is he thinking about what to put into stock? Maybe.
maybe. Yeah. I highly suggest just goldfishing the level 1 until you get to the level 1 combo turn, like 2-3 times a
Okay.
night before you go to sleep. So, it saves time during your actual tournament.
This is actual advice, by the
yeah,
way.
this is actual advice.
We
This
were
is what-
joking about sleeping about how to get 3 Alices on the board, but now this
Yeah.
is the real
Yeah.
advice. You should do that.
Yeah, you should actually get some practice in, so like you feel comfortable doing everything, and you can pivot more.
So now this mill 3 is confirmed
Yeah.
because there's two Alices in the
2 and
deck.
4. So even if the bottom is an Alice, it guarantees that he will hit 1.
Yeah. Then just do the brainstorm, and you have the perfect setup.
Yeah. And then, oh yeah, that's
Minus
right.
one-
With the
1K.
minus 1K, that level 0 is sent to the waiting room.
Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Hit doubles. Gets it out. And slam that climax.
Yep.
Boom.
So that's 3 stock, 3 hand.
And Ruby is a deck with stock swap, which is alright.
Yeah, it has stock swap and it has answers to Alice. So, this is pretty comfortable for Lacrima, but I think Thizos should be getting ready to do his stuff. So, yeah, the game could still go anywhere. We'll see how that rolls. So for the moment, Lacrima is sending some stuff to stock. I think that in this particular matchup, Assuming Zizzles has double level 1 Weiss, which hits 12-5, and then plays a Climax, which goes to 13-5, and then one Jawn, which we already know he has in hand. That one can go out of the counter range, and then give 500 to the second one. When you get a reverse using the ability of the Brainstorm, means the second one is 3k counter to match. So I think it makes the most sense for Lacrima to not get counters here.
I like how he got the 2-1, the level 2 Alice is the one that we're showing right now.
Yeah.
Because that's the 4th copy, and like, why do you need a 4th copy? You can only attack 3 times, right? But that's because when you know you're playing against a deck that is built to kind of beat your 2-1s, then just get the next copy, and when you hit level 2, you can just play it out and then continue the combo, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I think when you play SAO, you need to know in which matchups your stuff is going to be able, whether you can protect your stuff or whether you have to rebuild your board later. And depending on that, the cards you salvage change pretty drastically. So I think the fact that it's an open decklist tournament and you know what your opponent's deck's limits are makes that decision making a little bit easier today for players. But yeah, if you're playing in a BSF or possibly even a ECS later this year with SAO, this is probably the difficult part. You do sort of need to know what your opponent's decks are capable of.
I think like with SAO as well, you just don't be afraid of like just playing down the 2-1, right? Normally when you think of these cards, like I don't want to play this down when I can get it out for not free.
Yeah.
I can get it earlier, right? But your combo gets you back your stock in your hand, so just play it, right? It's not even a 2-2, right? It's a 2-1.
Yeah.
So
2-0 if you combo.
2-0 combo, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, Zizzles did manage to hang on there at level 1. I think he went from 1-5 to 1-6 with the clock draw, which is maximum compression if
got a cancel as well. Still got the
Yeah.
cancel even after so many went away, which is impressive.
Yeah. So I think so there's one of the level 1 Weiss in his level. I think I saw one go to waiting room just earlier in Lacrima's turn. I'm not entirely sure what Zizzle's hand is capable of, and it's a bit hard to tell how many cards are left in the deck, but it looks like it's on the border of whether a Brainstorm can salvage something, but with the number of climaxes that are out of his deck, the Brainstorm might not yield great results.
I think if you have 2 of the level 2 beater, you're like fine. You know, just being able to beat through two lanes is already good enough.
Alright, so
here's
here's the event. So this time he's opted to send 2 cards from stock to waiting room. And he's going to look at 5 and add up to 2 characters. So that's a Jawn, 1 early play Blake. And so 1 Jawn. I can't add the event. And what
Few choices, but they don't seem that impressive.
Yeah, they're not the cards that he wants right now, I would say.
It's the Amber.
Yeah, Amber and Jawn. So my guess here is that this also be doing double Jawn plus 1 Weiss. And then by stacking all the power and the abilities on the Weiss, you'll be able to answer 1 Alice while getting 2 searches, which is alright. Like, you still make 3 attacks, you deal with 1 card, you replace your hand. Lacrima, on the other hand, is also probably pretty happy that 2 of his Alices come back.
Just refreshing with decent compression, I guess.
Yeah.
1-6, although you did use 2 of the stock, but
it is nice to refresh on 1-6 in decks that have doors and choices, because you can trigger those climaxes and then you have something to actually gain from doing so, which SAO has a little bit of a problem with that, because the way you set up Alice combo typically means you go into attack with 1 card left in deck, and then anything you trigger on that turn following tends to end up just being a dud. So Zizzle's just lost the climax of that refresh there. A little bit unfortunate, but
goes to level 2 now.
Yep.
Let me just play down level 1 combo, right? Yes.
So there's the Weiss, and then I am guessing it'll be double Jawn, but double Weiss, single Jawn also makes sense. It sort of depends whether
Hand
or
seems pretty good for
Yeah.
those, to be fair. Moves up the
Okay.
hero though.
Well, that Weiss is already outside of counter range should it be buffed by Jawn this turn. So I guess just making use of the one last character makes sense.
Hmm.
But
We're also expecting Climax to come down too.
mhm. Right. Oh,
Is it coming down or not?
interesting. So two of your climaxes early play. But as there are no cards in Ziloz's clock, he won't be able to use the heal effect. I suppose he's just playing that here to contest an Alice, but what's
Isn't
that?
it too much? Do you need to do that? I feel like you don't.
It's a bit hard to say. It depends how much of the depends how much damage Zizols can catch up on here, but it is a bit of a risky commitment. That Jawn can pump the Blake to get it to what's that 14, which is again out of counter range. So
So you win 2 lanes.
yeah, you
Right.
went 2 lanes. And then because Lacrima probably was playing in a way that he just didn't expect the counter to do anything, Zizos probably doesn't need to worry too much about. Oh, sorry, no. The Weiss hits no, that card hits 12, 5. Oh, sorry, no. The Weiss can also hit 14k because the Blake goes through and gets a reverse. So yeah, it does contest the board somewhat well, but because Lacrima prepared for this, if he hits level 2, you can just replay one Alice, the one that just doesn't get answered, stays there, and that's 2 cards that he can fight the board with.
Yeah, I mean, the issue here I think is like that's 2 stock you technically could have saved though. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure you win that lane, but
Yeah.
stock pretty important.
I think overall, yeah, I personally might have wanted to keep the stock, but there is some merit to this line, so there's a choice. I guess you could also argue that because you're playing 8 choices, you can be a bit more liberal on the way you use stock. So that's +1 stock from the choice, and then fronting for, I believe, 14.
3 damage.
And then
I don't think there's any out to this from side. Just to take it.
Lacrima can use the 3k counter to match this lane,
Oh yeah.
which means he still loses the card, but it means he doesn't have to deal with Blake on his own turn, which there is an argument for, I would say.
I guess it's the annoying card you might want to deal with.
Yeah, because it default. Yeah, so I think it's gonna go
There
for the
it
match
is.
here. Right. So yeah, it doesn't stop damage, nor does it stop Alice from being reversed, but he doesn't have to deal with the Blake on Zizzle's his own turn.
And that was a 1/1 3k counter.
Yeah.
And another choice being triggered.
So I guess at this point you could say that Zizzle's used 2 stock and a card to make Lacrima use 1 stock and 1 card. Which I think overall in terms of value, it's pretty fair to say that Lacrima won out in that trade. But Zizzle did double trigger here for stock. So if he can cancel here as well, I think you could say that it kind of paid off.
The issue is that's just 2 climaxes gone.
Yeah,
Right?
Stick
And
Climax
you're-
is gone, and this the one in that was played from hand and didn't go back into refresh.
And you're kind of behind in terms of
Yeah,
damage.
yeah. Like even if Lacrima takes a swing, he enters his own turn on the same amount of damage. So and he has no issue dealing with that Blake on his own turn.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah. So if Lacrima has another choice in hand here, you can just play the 2/1 from hand, play the choice, double combo to gain 2 stock back. And then Zizzos has to find another way to deal with multiple Alices. So yeah, on one hand I'd say it doesn't really make a difference whether or not Zizzos plays his early play now or later in terms of the board.
oh, did he pay
What?
3 on-call?
Looks like he did, so I'd assume he just has another combo then. So he can just... okay, he didn't hit level 3, so yeah, he can combo again, and then 2 of that stock that he paid 3 for just comes back.
Yeah, so it's like a pay one call.
Yeah, it ends up being like a pay one call in that sense. Yeah.
Just put another card down.
Yeah, and then as long as Zizos takes like at least one swing this turn, let's say, yeah, it's back to where we were earlier with both players on slightly more damage. So, yeah, Lacrima still has Alice's. Zizos can deal with them, but has to put in a slightly high number of resources in doing so.
Calls Letha down now.
Yeah.
We can salvage something, anything.
There's not a whole lot of cards in the waiting room, so I think, yeah, Lacrima will probably just
Climax swap on.
yeah.
That means
We already
Climax is already set up.
Yeah, he already has the choice in the hand. So he can just combo again and get the Climax swapper back next turn if he needs it, I think.
Let's get it now as well.
Yeah, yeah, he could get it now, for sure.
Let's get it now. What will we salvage here, though? We can salvage a 1 or lower from the Letha.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
so
actually put something into stock.
he puts a card into stock. Then, oh, he doesn't have combo?
No Climax?
Okay. So I guess the pay 3 Encore is just to make Zizos deal with his board, using more resources later.
Huh.
Alright, so Zizos was able to cancel one of those, and then
Last attack is true. Cancels again. This canceling has been pretty good.
right. So yeah, cancel 2 after triggering 2 for resources is pretty nice, but
Now you try and brainstorm out, right? I think.
I think in Zizos' position he probably wants to reset his deck soon.
I think there's still too many cards in the deck.
Yeah, he does have one brainstorm though, so he can brainstorm, and depending on what's in his hand, he might be able to move through using one of the Full Maidens. Pyrrha? Pyrrha, yes.
Just considering, got to do the calcs.
And then,
Both these players are very measured.
yes. Alright, so it goes for the
Both
clock.
like clock. Clock at level 2.
Yeah, I mean, he cancelled enough times, so I think it's
Yeah,
reasonable.
true,
It's better to clock and take 1 damage here than it is to not go through your deck.
Clock and brainstorm get 2.
Hit 2, wow.
All
Alright.
the climaxes.
Yeah.
still hitting. Can't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Okay, so that's a... How many
Get
cards
back
is that?
here. There's gonna be more mill options, right? In the
It's about
deck.
yeah. Looks to be about 8 cards.
Cards get like 2 cards that can mill 2. Right?
Yeah, so if he can get another Pyrrha that goes through the deck, if he can resolve a combo somewhere that goes through 1 card in deck, but I don't think he has it. Oh, that's 2 Pyrrhas. So I guess,
just gonna
yeah.
run them in.
Yeah, just running in those 2 Pyrrhas and then getting 3 attacks go through 9 cards up to. So, and then 1 clean cut to keep a Pyrrha up and take a little bit less damage. Keeps it cushion. But yeah, Lacrima's pay 3 Encore paid off because that card is just getting uncontested this turn.
So he's gonna run in. Trigger nothing. 1 damage.
Yep.
Stop 3.
Yep, and adds the level 3 Yang. Discards 1.
And you can clean cut it back to rested position.
Yeah, so you can probably just leave out that damage cushion for next turn.
Yeah. Front.
For 2.
Well,
I believe that's a copy of the stock swap there, which probably both players want to keep a general eye out on. Because it's most likely not going into the next deck, Lacrima has to be a little bit careful on how much stock he makes, but he hasn't made a whole lot yet, so he should be okay.
So, was that a triple cancel?
Yeah,
Both
Yeah.
players canceling
Was.
a lot.
yes. I think at this stage it's tough to say. Lacrima might have not minded taking a bit of damage to play that last Alice from hand. But
I think the question is there another climax combo coming? Because last time there wasn't.
yeah.
But again, like we said before, you know, it doesn't really matter if you combo too much if your stuff just sticks there for ages, right?
Yeah. If your stuff just sticks, then like whether or not you combo ends up not being as much of a big deal as it is in games where your opponent does contest your stuff. That is unless your opponent doesn't have stock swap, but it does have stock swap. So yeah, I think Lacrima is happy to draw climax, but is also okay without it.
I think we might be getting to the point where time might be a thing. If these players keep on canceling.
Yeah, it might be pretty close to the limit, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So Zizos is just contemplating what to discard. It looks like he's tossing the Blake early play.
Stock looks really good for Zizos, even after going like 0 stock at that point when Blake.
I think.
Just a few choice picks. We're up to the.
So he's discarded the event.
You don't really need it anymore.
Looks like he has enough hand to, yeah.
It's a pretty heavily costed event.
Especially later in the game, Dig for 5 typically becomes weaker because you've already started collecting your necessary pieces and you're more likely to lose climaxes.
Lacrima opting not to clock here.
Yeah, I think he just wants to keep the damage differential, seeing as he's not playing that many heals in the deck anyway. May as well capitalize on the current advantage that he has.
Might be able to just mill out here as well. Cancel a lot.
Alright. But looks like he's just playing it. Yeah, looks like he's just playing it for the power and making a third attack, which I think that 500 difference is kind of nice in this matchup. Again, because that Blake hits 11k on her own, so having 500 extra means that your opponent has to make a little bit of a funky attack order. If Lacrima has the Gilbert counter in hand, he can use the Gilbert on the second attack.
Last attack here, triggering for 3 now.
There's the Gilbert though.
He's able to get the cancel on the 2. And another cancel again. Wow. Why cancel at level 2 when you can cancel at level 1?
It is a lot less mental burden when you cancel early and you know that you can take an attack somewhere else. So
here's the thing, Lacrima didn't trigger any climaxes there again. So
no, not at all.
Does that mean we're gonna see a bunch of cancels coming up?
Possibly. Zizos is on 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 2 and 5? Yeah. So he could clock and then use Amber to level up, and then he can salvage the I forget the character's name, but the level 3, the stock swap character, which he just paid out there. But guess he's not doing that yet. He's gonna wait a bit more.
I feel like it might not be worth it.
Yeah,
sure, might be a bunch of climaxes in Lacrima's deck, but there's also not that much stock.
But if the game simply progresses at the current rate, it's probably just gonna be in Lacrima's favor. So Zizos does need to find a spot somewhere to turn the tide, because they're both somewhat compressed. They're both canceling at a decent rate, but you know, when you're a level ahead, you're a level ahead. So yeah, a slightly ambitious stock swap may be necessary somewhere.
Moves up. Again, is this going to be another chump turn?
Well, that that 2-1 assist means that the Blake's definitely not going to have to chump. And then, oh, that's the early play. I think that's also a Pyrrha?
I think Nora?
Nora.
Uniform Nora?
Okay. It can be played early if you have 4 other characters, and when she's played, she gains 4/5 and the ability where neither player can use backups during a battle cross turn. So that's 2 lanes answered with Zizos' characters.
You only need to answer 2 lanes here.
Yeah, the last one's very easily doable with the Jawn that's on the board already. So yeah, that's an answer.
And here, Lacrima's gonna lose all the 2-1s then. Not a lot of stock as well, unless it's just consolidated into a pile.
I think it looks like it's put into one stack there, but I do remember it not being like an egregiously large number, so...
Cancel. Okay, there we go. The second one, are we gonna see another one? This one's hitting for Soul as well. 3.
Alright.
Oh, was this a side, maybe?
Looks like it was a side.
I think that's fine, because, you know, you don't want to get need so much compression. Leave a 2-1 up. That's
Yeah.
not the end of the world. And this is maybe a front.
I think he opted to side there to just
Ooh,
hope that
trips
Lacrima
attack.
doesn't cancel on the top, and then that way he at least puts the 6 cards from clock into waiting room.
Yep.
Yeah, which that did happen.
Yeah, you just want to lower the compression status as much as possible, even by the small things. But both sides looking like Zizzle's stock is increasing a lot as well.
Yeah.
But now Lacrima just has such a good good advantage and like life advantage, I guess.
Yeah, he is still noticeably ahead in that stage, being on lower damage in his own main phase. So that being said, Dizzles' board is probably a bit hard for Lacrima to break at the moment. So what was the choice? We were
the
playing
the Nora is not basically
Yeah.
just a dead lane.
Yeah, I think Lacrima's probably just going to be playing to capitalize on the damage slash compression right now.
Ooh. Climax swap.
Yeah.
And just slam.
Alright, and then playing over 2 of them. I think he's just gonna. Alright, so
Looks like the early play
yeah,
Arsenal.
the early play Arsenal. So it's got a double combo to get 2 stock and gain 2 hand, and then the Arsenal will be able to fight the Jawn and possibly come back into hand.
And I think even bad matchups where you're losing the Arsenal, even if they just replace themselves again, it's like it's already done its job.
Yeah.
Cancel on Zizzo's side.
Okay. Lacrima, I think, is contemplating siding to slow the game down and just hold up a board, but I think it's probably slightly better to just play for damage here. Yeah, looks like he's fronting in. That damage lands.
Wow.
Because Zizzles' finisher is, again, it's one of those combos which deal damage when cancelled.
So less
So-
reach.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much reach. He does have on attack burns and stuff, but I think with the state of the levels, Zizzles would be a bit hesitant to just burn on attack and do that starting at this point in the game. So Lacrima just being able to stick in the damage to hit Zizzles level 3 now probably will benefit him in the long run. Alright, so Zizzles is on 3-0, which is not too bad, honestly.
I think both players just don't like damage.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's a bunch of open slots on the Lacrima's slide, so it's the
Yeah.
perfect time to be pushing some damage.
SAU is it's a bit of a weird deck, I guess, in that because your level 2s just come out at level 1, unlike most other decks, when you hit level 2, you don't really start doing new things. Your power line's kind of like static. You can play out the 2-1, but whatever you can't fight at level 1, you still somewhat can't fight at level 2.
You play a weaker early play.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you have an early play that's weaker than the card that it's somewhat meant to replace. So yeah, I think Zizzle's putting up the board like that is gonna help him keep his resource advantage at the very least.
The front row is like what? Blake, Nora, and
Blake,
then
Nora, and that's the Ruby, which salvages on play, and then
burn 2. I think.
yeah, at the end of the attack it can
No
burn.
climax combo needed.
Yeah, so
And I mean, again, this is actually a real game, guys. This is very serious. As
Yes.
in, both these players are X1, I think.
Yep.
So they don't want to get a.
yeah, getting a loss here is very detrimental in their hopes of going to top 8 for day 2 tomorrow.
Yes, this is the last game being played, by the way. So,
It has been.
I think there's some extra time just because it's the stream match,
Yeah.
and we started probably later than everyone else, but
Probably.
it's not like it isn't timed.
Alright, so Zizoz has he's played his finisher here.
Oh,
Alright, and he looks like he's playing. Yep, he's moving stuff around, and then he's played the combo, so I think he's gonna give the on-cancel burn to the Ruby Rose. Which means that Ruby Rose has 2 opportunities to do that on-cancel burn, once with the actual attack and once more with the end of attack burn. So
this
yeah,
is
it looks like it's a
the
push.
curse of canceling too well.
One other notable thing about Zizoz winning the board here is that Zizoz does play 1 copy of Jack's Schnee. It's a memory counter, so if you use it and your defending character reverse an opponent, you must send that reverse character to memory. But Lacrima's finisher, the level 3 Silica, requires that you have 4 other characters on the board. So if you can send anything to memory, it means that any following Silicas won't be able to use their combos. So Zizel's regaining the control of the board and probably holding up a counter here is pretty significant in terms of the damage raise. But it also somewhat depends on whether or not Lacrima's going to cancel a lot here. Oh, but that one
that's
lands.
Stuck. This game
Alright.
suddenly went from slow to
Yeah.
slow to fast, and this Jax is actually is pretty good, not just in this matchup, but in the Escanor matchup too. Right?
Yes, Escanor also has a similar condition. So, that being said, yeah, you can get bounced in the Escanor matchup, but just the card existing in your set does make a
that
little bit
one's
of a
stuck.
difference. All right, so that's a Silica there. Yeah.
One thing that Lacrima has is the demonic sword Graham, right? That
Yes.
just basically says no. I'm just gonna combo it. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, but you could also argue that by Zizzles having the card in his hand, he's forcing Lacrima to play towards Demonic Sword Graham. He has to have that 1 extra stock, or he has to forego using a combo, or it's definitely like another thing that Lacrima has to worry about.
Yeah, and I guess one of the powers, even though the Silica doesn't heal, you look at top X. X equals the character your opponent has.
There's a Graham.
You know, so there's definitely no Graham coming up.
Oh no, I think he just played one.
Oh, he played
Yeah.
one? Okay, sorry. I thought it paid out of stock.
No.
So, okay, then this is gonna be combo time.
Yeah,
Zero-
Lacrima is only doing double combo here, which, from my experience with Silica, is
not good enough.
sometimes it'll win you the game, sometimes it won't. But I feel like with just 2 here, it's not super threatening.
I feel like they're just going into it, right? It's near the end of the game. They can't really dilly-daddle anymore. And this Silica puts 2 cards back into their deck. So even though they might take damage, they have a higher chance of taking more damage later.
Yeah, so after this, Lacrima is attacking for 3 with the current Silica, and then can swing with 2 with the Leafa, and then burn 2 with Silica, and then 3 with main swing. So, Lacrima, Zilos just needs to cancel 2 out of the next 4 swings, which is not, there's one.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. It's not too bad. It is definitely doable.
Shuku, the burn first, right?
Yeah, actually, I think there's not that many cards in Zizzle's waiting room to shuffle back.
Oh.
So
okay,
yeah, if there were more cards to shuffle back, I think he would burn first because it makes the 2 from the Leafa more likely to
So
stick.
Zizzle need to cancel this next attack, I think, right? This is 3.
Oh no, okay, man, there's enough. So I guess, I think it would have probably been better to attack with the Silica first in that scenario. But yeah, so Zizos just needs to cancel the 3 here, which is.
He's been canceling a lot.
He has
so
been. We have seen quite a few climaxes out, so.
You can't cancel 5 ever, right?
Yeah, you can't cancel 5 ever.
And oh,
Alright,
what's
so
the top
that
3
is
cards?
for
4 cards? Top 4 cards of the deck?
And
Oh!
cancel on 4.
I guess you can.
Yeah.
I guess you can cancel 5.
Hanging on by the skin of his teeth.
That last check, quite unfortunate. Otherwise, game would have been over. You
Yeah.
know? It's like a 3 damage precise, but if you're not precise enough, then now what is? Lacrima can still live. It's like
Yeah, it's still possible. Zizos is not exactly just swimming in resources either, so
yeah.
it is a bit of a all or nothing, I guess. But at the same time, Lacrima is on what's that, 3 and 2?
It's 3/2
Yeah.
low deck, so basically need like 4 damage to get through.
Yeah. I think there's probably enough cancels in that deck. But yeah, it looks like Zizos is just gonna swing for 2-3 times and hope.
No combo, unfortunately.
Yeah, if 2 of them lands, it's enough. But Lacrima possibly has 1 copy of the event in his hand.
I think at some point I thought Zills was being so still doing the invisible
Yeah.
strat, but I think they're just trying to work out what possible counters Lacrima has. There's that weird looking whitish card that looks different from everything else, but once you click on it, you realize, hey, that's just the older
It's just
anti-damage counter.
It's just opposition by the shield, but reskinned. Yes.
Yes. Well, there's actually multiple versions of this one, right? Just one of them came out in Anniversary.
Yeah,
So
I
we
think there's a Japanese exclusive one as well, but
This one actually looks pretty good, though.
yeah, it's sweet. It's an artwork from the movie, I think.
Yeah.
It's got the Link Strike artwork, so yeah, I think it's from the movie. So yeah, pretty good piece to add to your deck if you like SAO.
Yep. And wow. Oh, so I think what's happened is Lacrima has already won because time. This is the end of
okay.
time.
Time was called, and
They're just playing it out here.
okay.
But yeah, I think time was already called, and well, just before the last turn, Lacrima was very, very far ahead. in
Yeah.
terms of damage. So we will see what would have happened now if there is no time. But
Alright, so he is directing for 3. Oh,
okay,
lands.
okay. And then this is a 3, I think. Cancel. And then just the last attack.
Yeah, interesting that he attacks with 3 there. I guess he is playing around that one event, which was that the last card of his deck, or?
I think you might know what's the.
Oh no, that's the last card in his hand. Okay, so yeah.
Also, he even has the
Yeah.
perfect
All right, yeah. So
anti-damage. So he had everything
okay,
basically.
Yeah, so he needed to hit for 3 in hopes that he gets a soul icon and makes one of them 4, or the second one specifically. I suppose a better attack order would have been attack the level 3 first to make him use the counter in that case. It makes his next deck a little bit thicker for the damage to stick. But yeah,
I
it looks
think,
like
that is-
Lacrima has won. Even if the
Again,
game had played out.
if they
Again,
played it out, yeah,
regardless,
Lacrima's
yeah,
won.
again, whichever you want to put it. Yeah.
And Lacrima moves on. X1 looks pretty good for him. But you know, X2s can still make it, just be a bit lucky, so Dizzle still has a chance. It's just to play it out to the end. But we are pretty much just approaching the end of the tournament. One more round left.
Yep.
One more round left. Next one. So we'll see how many SUs.
It's probably more than one.
Well, yeah, I think it's impossible to be less than one.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back very quickly. I think that was the last game as well. We'll be very right back with the final round of BRO. So stay put and see you soon.
to show off the best performance on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Intro deck and booster pack, Bang Dream, Girls Band Party, 5th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. The Academy was the Girls' Orchard. The popular visual novel series joins the stage of Weiss Schwarz. The fruit of Grisaya Trial Deck and Booster Pack. Coming soon. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. 10 years journey with Sword Art Online. Now on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Booster Pack Animation Sword Art Online 10th anniversary. Now on sale. Bushiroad.
バンドリガールズバンドパーティー、ポッピンパーティー、キラキラドキドキしたいな。
アフターグロー。今日もいつも通り行こう。
パステルパレット、みんなで最高のステージにしようね。
ロゼリア、このメンバーで頂点を目指すわ。
ハローハッピーワールド、世界を笑顔に。モルフォニカ、輝く景色を一緒に。
レイザー睡蓮、暴れる準備はいい？
個性豊かなバンドメンバーとライブを成功させよう。リズムゲームパートではゲームオリジナル楽曲がたくさん遊べる。さらにライブ背景を MV にして遊べる楽曲も。そしてリズムゲームの体感もパワーアップ。有名カバー楽曲も続々登場。知ってる楽曲でたくさん遊べるよ。最大5人での協力ライブが可能。みんなで協力してライブを成功させよう。バンドライフを楽しむアドベンチャーパート。ラウンジでは次々に交わされるメンバーたちの会話が見られるよ。日常やさまざまな会話を楽しもう。私たちと一緒にキラキラドキドキする毎日を過ごそう。バンドリガールズバンドパーティー大好評配信中。始めよう、私たちのバンドライフ。70億ある こはテンポ上げていこう。
Weiss Schwarz. It's time to show off the best performance on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Intro deck and booster pack, Bang Dream, Girls Band Party, 5th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. The Academy with the Girls' Orchard. The popular visual novel series joins the stage of Weiss Schwarz. The Fruit of Grisaya Trial Deck and Booster Pack. Coming soon. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. 10 years journey with Sword Art Online. Now on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Booster Pack Animation Sword Art Online 10th anniversary. Now on sale. Bushiroad.
バンドリガールズバンドパーティー、ポッピンパーティー、キラキラドキドキしたいな。
アフターグロー。今日もいつも通り行こう。
パステルパレット、みんなで最高のステージにしようね。
ロゼリア、このメンバーで頂点を目指すわ。
ハローハッピーワールド、世界を笑顔に。モルフォニカ、輝く景色を一緒に。
レイザー水蓮、暴れる準備はいい？
個性豊かなバンドメンバーとライブを成功させよう。リズムゲームパートではゲームオリジナル楽曲がたくさん遊べる。さらにライブ背景を MV にして遊べる楽曲も。そしてリズムゲームの体感もパワーアップ。有名カバー楽曲も続々登場。知ってる楽曲でたくさん遊べるよ。最大5人での協力ライブが可能。みんなで協力してライブを成功させよう。バンドライフを楽しむアドベンチャーパート。ラウンジでは次々に交わされるメンバーたちの会話が見られるよ。日常やさまざまな会話を楽しもう。私たちと一緒にキラキラドキドキする毎日を過ごそう。バンドリガールズバンドパーティー大好評配信中。始めよう、私たちのバンドライフ。
Hey, everyone. We are in the final round of VRO for WS. Ken,
Yeah.
was it a good day?
Yeah, I got to see everyone play SAO, which is kind of. Well, no, actually,
We
just
saw Haruhi,
we saw-
all right?
okay, we saw Haruhi,
Will
and-
Europe see Haruhi? I don't know. I don't know, right?
I think we're the only Haruhi.
That's
stream.
right. But yeah, no, EU is starting up very soon as well. So after this, if you want to watch more Weiss, head to Europe. You know, don't have to take a plane. You just have to change the stream and you'll be there, right? So last round, it's going to be great. Again, we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen these two decks, right?
No, we
not
haven't
today.
seen them. No,
Yeah.
not today.
So we've got two fresh decks, no more SAO. That's for tomorrow and in Europe and USA. But let's kind of take a look at the, well, we actually have the standings as well. Let's kind of take a quick look at the standings before we jump into the decks. So 2-1-2 dead, the only undefeated right now. There was a play down, I think, for one of the undefeated players, and unfortunately they lost. So he's right now 2-1-2 dead is the only undefeated. But then we have Simon Zhang, so very well-known player, teammate from New Zealand. Good job. Always has to play Vanguard, but this time is able to play Weiss Schwarz.
Yep.
All right. Fresh Cabbage, another well-known name from USA. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. He is the winner of the previous AO region Bushiroad Rumble Online.
Yep. And then Kazair that we saw before, Lacrima, also well-known name in Australia as well. We just saw him play. Varga in 6th, Asuna in 7th. I wonder what Asuna's playing. Could be anything. We got Hakase in 8th, right? And then after that, the X2s, Killua, and then Bim Bomb. And then I'm not sure if we're going to jump to top 20.
All right.
Zizos? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Zizos, Kel, Cat, Uzui, Carlangus, Kix Machina, Pyrohiko, Tanjiro, Mecha, D1P, and Heatblaze. Sorry, everyone above Heatblaze is on full 2.
Yeah, everyone above Heatblaze, I think, has a chance. Unfortunately, Heatblaze 3-3 probably doesn't make it. But the X2s, basically fighting for that Lux spot. Maybe, I think there's more than a Lux spot. There's probably a few.
I think we have exactly 8 if we have the X1 or higher now. So I think there's possibly
4 X2s?
yeah,
maybe?
up to 4 X2s could.
That's a lot.
possibly make it.
Yeah, that's a lot. Let's look at who we're watching, right? Who we're watching. Who's on the line right now? First, we have Pyrohiko playing Escanor. We haven't seen Escanor today. How do we play
No.
Escanor? What? You know all about Escanor. What happens in this deck?
So this one recently went through a restriction. So you used to be able to play a level 3. I forgot the character's name, which allows you to top check 3 cards, rearrange them, and then mount an opponent's character. But now that is basically not allowed to be played alongside this level 3 Escanor. So I think as a somewhat substitute, you play the level 3 Merlin early play as the balance component, and the top check 2 climax swap King just on the bottom row there as the top check 2 component. And yeah, you just you try to use that to cover for what you've lost in the previous parts. And this particular build seems to be just playing 4 copies of each climax as opposed to the 6 and 2 common split that we used to see a lot of. So yeah, I think it's definitely playing some slightly weaker replacements, but looks like
Still a strong
deck.
top end.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks for the great explanation, Ken. But who Pyrohiko is fighting is Kelvin.
Wow.
Yeah, Kelvin. We know Kelvin.
Yeah, I also know Kelvin.
He's running Hololive. We
Yep.
haven't seen Hololive all day, and it's
Nope.
just the good old trusted Kanata Marine build, right? Still, nothing's really changed with this deck.
I think it more or less looks the same as last season. Like the only difference between lists is like slight ratio changes and
Yeah.
what you put in that one Watame slot. I think most of the time. So yeah, it looks like
Put
a
a Watame. That Watame slot.
Yeah, sorry. Well, some of the players play. I think I've seen Bottom being played in that slot, but
Yeah.
yeah, for the most part, I think it looks like, you know.
Why change what works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So,
good old done and tested.
all right, then let's get into it if we're ready. Seems good. Seems good. 2 decks we haven't seen for a while. We got some pretty crazy mats here. We got a Grin Lagarde mat on Pyrohiko side.
Yeah.
So a Pecora mat on Kelvin's side.
I know that Kelvin lost in top 8 in Sydney BSF last year to Gren Lagan, so I think
Well, Is that psychological damage? Emotional damage even?
Yeah. You can't cancel it.
Can't cancel Gurren Lagann. Alright, too good.
All right. So
Let's see who starts. Pretty
Yeah.
big. Escanor going first?
looks like Escanor going first. Purifico's already played his character. I think they're just holding it on pause because of stream. But here we are. Just a bit
going
of
first,
communication
swinging
going
in.
on.
Waiting for the good to go.
Yeah.
What does Escanor do the whole game?
I think Escanor just tries to keep putting in damage while maintaining hand size and ultimately just find the moment to go for game at the end.
Because I feel like you just kind of sit there and farm until you
Yeah.
hey, it's Escanor.
Yeah.
A bunch of 1 damages
Pretty
coming
much.
your way, right?
Whether or not the attacks in the mid game where Purifico triggers the double soul trigger sticks or not can have a pretty big bearing on how the game runs. So obviously Kelvin will want to cancel that. Purifico would want them to go in. But yeah, looks
Isn't this
like
Gil Thunder pretty good as well? It's like a big card that runs around.
yeah, it can as long as it has a marker, it's 3/5 and it can move in front of another character. So it does deter opponents from making multiple attacks, but judging from the mulligan and the way Kelvin is playing, it seems like his hand just isn't ready in general.
Yeah, it sounds like a very weak start. Normally, if you play Kanata Marine, right, you just drop a bunch of things that grab other stuff when they go to the waiting room.
Yeah,
But this one is
Purifico just revealed a choice on top of his deck with the second Gil Thunder, but he went straight for the Brainstorm, and he's going to salvage a character with that Elizabeth Brainstorm.
so 2 Gil Thunders out, 1 big, 1 smaller. And I think the annoying thing as well, though, that Gil Thunder reaches 3/5 power,
Yeah.
which, if you know, a whole life center is usually around 3/5 power as well. So nothing you can just freely beat over.
Yeah, the line is pretty annoying for Whole Life to deal with. And Purifico went straight ahead and salvaged the 2/1 Nanashi. It is a stock bomb for characters whose levels are higher than the opponents. So it's an anti-change per se. And you can also, when it's played, you have to, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the waiting room. And if there's a climax among them, you can send a level 3 or lower in the opponent's front row to the waiting room. So it's 1 card to deal with up to 2 Kanatas.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so I think he's getting that ready at this point.
It's pretty early, though.
Yeah, Purifico is only doing 2 attacks here, which honestly,
with the cancel.
it's hard to say. On one hand, Kelvin is probably happy to not take a lot of damage. On the other hand, if you only played 1 level 0 there, chances are his hand is not exactly overflowing with level 0s. So being stuck here and having to play out kind of damage cushions here is probably not what he wanted to do.
It's a Coco.
It's a
But
Coco
if you're going for a
Brainstorm.
brainstorm with this Coco,
Oh, really? Okay.
just trying to mill out, maybe?
Seems a bit hasty, I would say. Like if you hit that brainstorm, or even if you do hit, you're not
Pass!
guaranteed to draw.
Pass!
Ooh, that's a pretty weak turn. I think you probably want to not use stock like that because although it's pretty unlikely that Kelvin hits level 2 next turn, like you do want the stock. But at the same time,
It's, I think, more likely to hit 1, right?
1 is, yeah, it seemed fairly likely, but
Hand just seems really bad.
yeah, it's just that even on bad hands, you do need stock. So,
Purifico did also swap the Gil Thunders around, by the way. Because on the sides, the whole life maximum's around 2/5 for the lowest. So
Yeah.
you'll never be over that Gil Thunder. The 3/5 is means you can run over the center.
yep. Okay, so it's moving more characters around.
Lots of Gil Thunders coming down. It's like a
Yeah.
Gil Thunder kingdom right there.
Yeah, interesting. I think there's a deck that doesn't play 8 card advantage
going-
triggers. You do want to clock draw a bit more, and then if you just overflow on hand, you use put them in the ebony slots, I suppose.
Going for the slam. And I think
Yep.
that's a climax combo, right?
Yep. So he's gonna send a card from the deck to the waiting room. That's another climax. So this time he'll salvage a level 0 character, as climaxes are counted as zeros. for the purpose of that ability, and he's added the level 0 Escanor. So he can hold on to that to pay the cost for his level 3 combo later in the game, or he can just use it as level 0 beta if he needs it to.
It's taking 4.
Yeah,
Lapis.
that's another 4.
Cancel
this one.
That's pretty. It's okay. You don't want to take a lot of damage. Just want to take some, maybe.
Yeah. The fact that Kelvin got a cancel there is pretty nice for him.
Now you have time.
Yeah, he has time. He will have to get ready for Kanata next turn, but judging from the fact that he just doesn't have stuff to play, I would expect that the cards in his hand are
like
Kanata.
level 1. So Mikos are coming out. 3 Mikos.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So he can definitely hit level 2 next turn if he wants to. Whether or not he does want to is ambiguous, but taking a pick at his hand there, do you see a stock saw? I don't think there's a stock saw.
You just have to go through the
Yeah.
deck. And these Mikos basically just stick around.
Mm-hmm.
They can just stick around. Will Puro gonna? Oh, it gets a.
Yeah.
Door.
So that's pretty nice.
I think Pure's on 606 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kelvin will probably go to level 2 soon. A lot of climaxes have been revealed.
Yeah.
Salvaging the 2-1 Kanata.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cancel there. And losing basically the whole front row, but that's fine.
That's fine. He's already kind of gotten a good amount of value out of that.
If you want to talk about decks that can sustain, though, Kanata Marine is one of the decks that can just kind of sit around on Kanatas and continue sustaining until they want to go.
Yeah, yeah. And even though we do say like they sit around at level 2, because of the level 1 Mikos that we see in the front row, if he wants to go up, he can actually just do it really quickly without with practically no loss of resources.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And he can hyper compress if he gets the chance to.
Yeah,
because-
Pyroshko does have that Nanashi in hand, so he probably will be dealing with the Kanatas one way or another, but yeah, no, Kelvin's game plan is to kind of go into Kanata and then stabilize from there. So the way this early game has gone would probably be pretty terrible for a lot of other decks, but in this deck, it's recoverable.
And we see the Meliodas come down.
Yep.
It's a pretty good level 1, right? When looking through all the level 1s for 7 Deadly Sins, it's like this one actually stands out.
Yeah, it stands out as a card which initially it's just a slightly stronger version of the Kantai collection card Taige if you have 2 copies, but the fact that it can clone itself really helps in decks like this one where you're primarily just using your back row combo and you want to fill your front row without having to use resources to find them. So a card like this just really fills that gap nicely.
Yeah.
And that's another brainstorm in the back. So I think Pyrohiko will probably try and combo again this turn. Brainstorm? Okay. Judging by the thinness of that deck, maybe no. It would probably be more beneficial to leave. Okay.
Slams again. There we go.
It's a little hard to tell from the angle, but it looks like that climax isn't going to go back into the next deck.
We'll find out soon.
Yeah, looks like less than 5 cards.
But that stock is increasing quite rapidly.
Yeah, well, he did get to keep his level 0s, and they just got extra attacks in, so...
Maybe it's all part of the plan. Let him build a lot of stock, and then do the stock swap, and boom.
It is a plan. I think Escanor does sort of need like a specific setup for the end game, so it's not like a few many other decks where you can just sit back on an alternative way to use your stock at level 2 or something. So
yeah, I guess Escanor really doesn't have much of a level 2 game, does it?
It's primarily reactive, I would say. Like you just deal with what your opponent plays out and like maintain.
Cancel
your
that.
advantage. Yeah, all right. That's probably quite appreciated.
So this one's 3.
Yeah.
Oh, another one.
All right.
Wow.
I am a bit curious as to whether or not Kelvin has that Stoxo in hand, though.
I have a feeling Kelvin's gonna stay at 1 and then just do a good compression kind of thing.
It's an unusual line, but it does happen, I guess. That's for 3?
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. But he does stay at 1. It's just that if he chooses a clock encore, he has to lose the compression.
You choose the clock full stop, he
But
loses the
one,
compression.
yeah, but one of the Mikos coming back probably means that he can forego that and not feel too bad about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is 1 card left in deck, so if he refreshes here, yeah.
That's not bad, to be honest, because you have a full stock of 6 cards going into the waiting room.
Yeah, given
And-
the somewhat abysmal start, this is
And the
alright.
quality of cards going back in is not actually that bad. I see
Yeah.
like some Carnators, some Marines, some Carnata Marines.
Mhm.
I think
Playing
I
Draw
think-
Brainstorm, it's nice to have cards in your deck that you want to draw.
refreshing the
that's a
climax isn't great though.
I think he's gonna lose. Yeah, I think he has to lose that to make green. Not sure
the
how
best.
prepared his hand is, but I think we do know there's a green 2-1 counter in his hand.
Yeah, no, you searched for one.
Yeah.
We salvaged one.
Yeah. Alright, so he has clocked here to draw 2 cards, but... Oh, okay, he's just immediately played Akirosa down, so yeah, it looks like he doesn't have a Stoxel yet, which...
That's not good.
Oh, no. Oh, wait, no, he played over the Akirosa, so I think he's going to use that to salvage...
Another
A card?
Carnata?
He salvaged the level 3 Kanata, okay.
Okay.
And then...
Oh,
alright.
a double.
Okay, so he does have the... He does have the Stoxel.
And in case people are wondering why are you putting a backup down on the field, well, it has a combo.
Yeah, when you play the climax, you can send it to waiting room and it turns into a level 3 Kanata from the hand. The level 3 Kanata heals on play, and if you have the climax at the beginning of your attacks, you can choose up to 2 characters in waiting room, send any number to stock, and the rest to hand.
Basically, get back a bunch of cards, and if your hand is already really good, you can
Yeah.
put it all into stock.
Yep. So ideally for Kelvin, he's just going to be sitting on this for a while and gaining resources.
Yep.
The fact that Pyrotico is still on level 1 might actually be in Kelvin's favor because it means the Nanashi can't come out for another turn. So Kelvin might be able to get 3 seconds on the Kanata combo here. So what's he got?
It's like 2 Mikos going into this, well, 1 Miko going into stock.
Yeah,
And
and then he's got a
3 going back into
Robocall
hand.
counter plus 3k. Death heal.
And
yeah.
then I used to swing with one of the Carnators first, right? They're at level 1.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
And I guess here's the other thing, like if Purico stays at 1, what do you do against this?
I think you just make the 3 attacks and hope some of it sticks, and
That's a really thin deck though.
it is pretty thin, yeah, thanks to all that stock getting there. But I think Kelvin will probably start thinking about where to get the stock sort in.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's able to just shoot enough of the 2 soul climaxes back into the deck, all of a sudden the output of Escanor becomes a lot weaker.
Yes.
Yeah. That being said, obviously, in order to use Stock Swap, Kelvin has to be on a minimum of 3 and 0. So double Escanor may still be threatening, but
It's not like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Refresh and then 3, so 2. We can't see.
yeah. So I think if he there is I would say there is an argument for Kelvin to potentially pass after this attack, depending on how it runs, but looks like he just went for the attack there. So yeah, I think in this matchup, ideally Kelvin would like to just stay at low level 2, so Escanor's damage output simply isn't enough to end the game. But from the way it's going, I think that seems a little bit tough. So if it falls that way, then Kelvin's kind of happy. If it doesn't, I think he'll probably have to go for like the stock swap and damage plan, which requires him to keep Pyrohiko at bay pretty well. But it looks like Pyrohiko cancelled, so he's still at 1 and 3.
1-4. Just build the stock, right? I think you reason to yourself, you've got... He's pretty compressed. He's probably going to cancel one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, due to the way that Conator works, because you have to play Climax to gain resources, but you generally have to win board to like actually overall gain resources, because if you replay it, you don't gain. You do end up swinging big.
Yeah, I mean, next turn, if you have the combo again, you're definitely probably swing into empty, and it's gonna be like 4-5.
Yeah.
Into a compressed deck. But that also means you get to compress.
Yeah.
But you might be taking damage as well. So.
Well.
But we'll see. We'll see how this... Like, the biggest issue here is Pyrohiko doesn't really have much to do in this situation. It's just play level 1s, attack into them.
Most likely just make sure he doesn't pass on an uncompressed deck. Make some number of attacks. Probably.
But at some point when you start like chumping like this, you start having to use resources to be able to continue making 3 attacks, right? Yeah. So it's not like it's free.
Yeah. If the game goes for not very long, that kind of ends up being fine. But the longer the game goes, like the more that your use of resources versus the non-use of resources from your opponent starts to make a difference. So looks like Pyrohiko has gotten another climax. So
slamming continues.
Yep. So he climax swapped the choice into the stock soul. He's using the stock soul to push damage and gain some cards.
Puts a card away. Sometimes when you sit on so much stock, though, it just feels good, right?
Yeah, it does feel good. Certainly.
Is it the Nanashi? Adds the Nanashi to hand.
So it looks like he is fully intent on just getting rid of Conator as soon as he hits level 2. So that's for 3.
And it'd be nice if Kelvin can cancel some of these. And just definitely prolong this game.
Yeah.
Or prolong his favorable situation. Look at the top 2. Grabs 2. Unfortunate. And then front for... Can look at top 2 again.
Yep. And just going for 2, I think.
I think it's 3. I think it was an Eskin or cancel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
So I wonder if Kelvin can do another heal, do another combo. It'd be pretty good if he can.
Yeah, if he has the climax, he has the remaining cards, so it's doable. If you can heal down to 3-4 and then just gain all those resources.
For brainstorm here.
Yeah, I paid out the climax. Hits
draws a card.
Draws on 1.
I think he needs to do it again.
I think, yeah, he most likely wants to. He definitely wants a combo. Whether or not he goes through this deck is a little bit hard to say. Looks like he's.
Oh, there's the Hakkos. You need that Hakko. Ooh.
Yeah.
If he can somehow salvage the Hakkos, it's pretty good. Because there's probably the climax in the deck, right? He's gonna spend a bit to go through it though.
He has to lose quite a lot of cards to access the waiting room without using combo, because it usually ends up being the bomb disposal squad level 0, which I think is the card that he's kind of just put there. But yeah, having to lose 2 cards and then use the Hakkos, Bales.
Yes.
Yeah. Can be a bit taxing.
But you get it all back. That's the one we're looking for.
Alright, so this discards the Suicide anti-change, because most likely it's not going to do a whole lot in this matchup. I'll get back a level 3 Conator, and then...
This was the hard hat Conator.
I believe it's called Bomb Disposal Squad.
Bomb... Yes, here it is. It just looks like a funny picture.
Yeah, it does.
That's what everyone sees.
It it looks just very short. Anyway.
You grab
Alright, so
bond.
discard marine. Salvage. Yeah, there it is.
That's the hot goods, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like it's just going to play it to look at top 3 by paying 1 and discarding 1.
I mean, normally be very harsh, but at the same time, you kind of wanted to go through the deck, right? So I think you got it just there.
So that was the second card, which means there's 4 left in deck. So he can put the stock soul back in his deck if he leaves it there in combos. Yeah, that's a combo.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, I think it's slightly better to get those extra cancels. Oh, I am +1 heal. Very much appreciated. So interestingly, even if he didn't see in the top 3 there, if he played over the Bales just as he did now, he would have been able to use the ability one more time when it goes to the waiting room. So he would have been able to look at 3 and 3, which is exactly 6. So even if it was the bottom card, he would have at least been able to combo.
I think he already had the climax in hand because he discarded the climax.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, I think we're back to where we
So now
were.
we get 6, but because the hand is full, you can put a lot of it into stock.
Yeah. Is it not? Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. So you're getting the stock, and then he's gonna swap the 2/1 for a level 3, and then
Heal.
heal 1. So I think he used a decent chunk of his hand, so he still needs to refill that pot again, but probably can gain a bit more stock than he did last turn at least.
I mean, at some point you also start searching for marines.
Yeah, you can go for marines, and he probably wants to hang on to the Matsuri stock swap, but his hand, I think I saw a marine in his hand just there.
Like 2 marines is okay.
Yeah.
1 marine is okay as well. 2 like better because your 2 sometimes search into something to grab
Yeah.
the 3rd. And then I don't know. I like getting the bomb diffusal squad as well, just because it can turn to anything. I do think it's a bit too early to go for marines though, unless you're just gonna go. I'm gonna hit him to 2x, and then just do swap boom.
Yeah. It's not entirely impossible that he wins on the next turn, but I'd say it's unlikely enough to not commit to.
Oh, so we put 3 to hand and 3 to stop.
Yeah. It's a... Alright, so it looks like he has 3 marines in hand. So he is ready to end the game when it comes down to it. He just probably needs to find an opening at this point.
4. Whoa.
Oh, got that?
Is that cancel or in? That's a cancel.
That's a
Okay.
cancel.
5. So this is the marine.
That
Cancel.
Cancels.
And then front. For 3.
3.
Cancel.
Cancel.
Okay. So Pyrrhus still stays at 1. Those Nanashis in hand are going to be pretty annoying now, right? Because you can't play them down.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Purico has a way of turning them into anything else aside from clock drawing. I suppose he can just clock them and then salvage them when he hits level 2 using the brainstorm, which is also fine.
So at some point, right, Pyrrhus like stock is going to become massive, and then you're just going to stock swap the entire deck into the stock.
Yeah. He does need to be wary of that, and because Kelvin has the option to just hit himself up more or less, yeah, it is a defeat condition here. So
At a time when you compress too much.
yeah.
But no clock, going for a brainstorm.
It looks like a hit for 1.
1, and again that is a very, very low deck count.
Mm-hmm.
And this brainstorm, is it a search brainstorm or?
The brainstorm is a salvage brainstorm, so he'll be getting
So good.
one of these cards. Yeah, that card is pretty impressive. Kind of underestimated it initially because the climax was a stock soul, but yeah, it's definitely great that you can keep your brainstorm while comboing with the back row.
Yeah. Look at those thin piles.
Yeah.
So refresh damage.
Yeah.
One of the Melodiouses goes there. Lost Fane. Salvage 1. Which one's the best? What's the best choice?
Sure.
gets the Elaine.
Mm-hmm. Right, and plays a Gil Thunder. I guess that Elaine is one way of turning the Nanashis into something else. Alright, so he added a level 0 king to hand, which allows him to top check 2. That's probably not too bad right now.
Gets rid of the
discards.
Nanashi, I think.
I think
Brainstorm
I
again.
think that was a level 0 Escanor. Brainstorm again.
So it gets 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
So this will kind of keep Purohiko alive for a while.
Yeah, his hand's got to be maintained.
I think now you can probably search the Nanashi because you're probably going to level 2 next turn. Maybe. Big if.
Maybe. I don't know how many turns we'll be saying
We're
that
going
for.
for the Escanor now. But that's, yeah, lots of stock. Goes for the full Escanor combo.
Yeah, so I guess he's preparing for being just hit to like late level 2.
Yeah.
By a stock swap
Just
here.
plays the Lost Vein down too.
Yeah, just as a vanilla attacker this turn.
And turn things sideways time? I think it is.
Yep.
So here's a thought, right? Like, even if Kelvin goes to 3, does he even have to be afraid? Because one, Purohiko won't be doing anything until level 3, right?
Yeah.
So it could just be 3 attacks until Kelvin wants to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
It's true.
I think it's
Cancel.
probably better if Kelvin just doesn't do
True.
too much. Even if he hits level 3 here, he can probably sit on Kanata for at least one more turn, and then ideally, if Purohiko hits level 2 next turn, it's a much better range to start pushing from.
Yeah. And now the Nanashi has become less useful.
Yes, it can remove one card in the front row, but it doesn't bomb them anymore, so...
Yeah, it's gonna just, well... Huh. Depends how long Kelvin wants to prolong this.
Yeah. It is also that Purohiko could use up some of his stock next turn, I think. Worst case, you can just play over your back row and then pay 3 encore to avoid getting stock sort for too much.
And, 3 Kanatas. Does he have another combo?
I don't think he had one in hand, but not impossible that he drew a new copy.
That's a Matsuri. He's going for the stock swap now.
Alright.
But didn't he brainstorm a lot of the brainstorms away?
I suppose, but I think...
I feel like there might be a better timing for it. Or do you just want to do it now and then just bash?
I think it's... with that many cards, it's probably worth doing it now, because next turn Purohiko might have used more stock, might have ended on a thinner deck with no climaxes, etc, etc. Like, it's a fairly opportune timing to do it right now. So I think it was okay to. But controlling how much damage she does this turn might also be pretty important. But it looks like he's going to heal
he's
down.
gonna heal down, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
here's another round of combo. Yeah, I think if Kelvin hits Purohiko too,
Is that a chain swapper? Climax swapper?
yeah. I think he can, if he hits him to like a mid-level 2 threshold, he might just stop attacking there and then set up for.
Does he have
triple
Hachima counter?
I don't see it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I think I think the Hachama beam line is a bit unlikely here. You obviously only want to use it when your opponent's going to hit you with Escanor in this scenario. But that means that your opponent has to be at level 3. But for that to happen, you kind of have to probably have Marine in the turn before that.
This, I think it's 4. Oh.
Oh, it's a
I was like,
Yeah.
"Man, that's a lot of damage. It's
a lot
more
of
than
damage. Yeah, I think
like
the
a
stock swap is.
6.
Yeah, so I think. Okay, so it's gonna go ahead and attack here, but I think it was possible to say that you don't have to attack there. But yeah, I guess if he has the Hachima counter,
Yeah, Pyric will need to get some Merlins.
yeah, well, bounce 1, then direct in that lane, then front with the second Escanor means the double
Cancels,
Escanor goes in,
anyway.
but the last attack just gets stopped. So yeah,
So I guess Pyric is in that weird spot. He's at, I think, 2-5 right now.
yeah,
How do you hit yourself up to 3 to Escanor?
it's funny because in a lot of decks, the way you hit yourself in these scenarios is you play over the card which says when this goes to waiting room, pay 1, clock yourself to do X.
Yeah, that's your piece.
Yeah, but that's your piece in this deck. So you can't you can't really do that. So yeah, it's a weird spot to be in.
And I mean, like Hololive, for example, you have those clock on cores that you can kind of just repeatedly play over.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah, Pyric is kind of going through his deck. How many can I go through? Or how many do I need to go through to go like clock and then refresh damage to 3-0?
Alright, so you did clock here.
We find a piece that can help him do that. Doing the count again. It all comes down to
Surely,
these.
I think with double brainstorm, he can hit 3 and 0. I'm just not. The fact that he hasn't immediately. Okay, no, it looks like he can do that. I have some curiosities about.
Is he set up though? I'm wondering.
I
'Cause
think it's just the climax I haven't been keeping too much track of, because the only way you can add climax in his hand is by drawing it. So
Oh really?
from what I
Ouch.
know, yeah.
Oh no, they have the an Elizabeth that can look at top X.
Oh yes.
But I think the question is, where is the climax?
Yeah,
Where are the
because,
climax?
because neither player knows where the climax is, unless he's just been holding on the whole time. It's too risky to kind of go for anything at the moment. But then, that also means, well, let's say he kind of just
I
spends
think-
his turn not doing much. What
So pay
happens? then?
1.
Is that a climax swap?
I think it's a searcher.
I'm having difficulty.
Can't really
seeing.
see it, yeah, unfortunately,
through
because
the
of the glare. But it looks like just like a pay 1, ditch 1 search. I think it's a Diane, maybe? Oh no, not Diane.
Looks like an Elizabeth based on the pink and the boat. I think it's. Yeah, here we go. It's that guy.
Courage and determination. Yeah, this is a search a deck. It's a top X search, center +1 soul. Search for a Diane.
Yeah, so I think he primarily must have used that to see what's left in his deck.
Yeah.
And then just most likely the Diane's not actually a card that he wants, but more just a card that he can search.
The Diane was a top 5 grab anything.
Oh, okay, sure. So I was thinking of the other Diane then. So yeah, right. If he has that in the deck, then he most likely can dig, but has to work out how much stock he has.
So I think he knows he can go to 3-0 and can probably combo, just needs to make sure.
Alright, so that's
He's
climax
on the
swap.
king.
So yeah, he just grabbed a choice, the Master of the Sun. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if the damage output is gonna be enough.
How much hand does Pyriga actually have though? 'Cause
It's
he's committing a
very-
lot here.
It's very hard to tell, yeah.
To kind of set this part up, right?
Yeah, and because he's looking at the top X using the Diane, it means that he most likely has to go in blind when he's doing his Escanor.
Yeah, and it's also you use Merlins to bounce, but that's just extra cards.
Yeah.
But Kelvin really didn't grab. I don't think he's grabbed the Hachima counter at all, so probably don't have to worry about that.
But yeah, blind Escanor may, assuming there's no triggers of double souls, it may kind of just depend on whether or not the non-Escanor attack lands. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say.
So it goes up
Yeah.
to 3-0. Don't know how much they refreshed though. And then now do the Escanors come down? The full combo. Or do they go for a poke? Just
I
poke
think
this turn?
it's-
Well, if you're
nah, I
committing
think
so much, there's no
Yeah,
way you're just
sure-
poking this turn.
Surely
right?
you would go for Escanor if you're gonna do this much.
Okay, here we go. Something's on that Gil
Top
Thunder, check
check.
top deck. Is that a
Was
climax?
that a double?
I think it
Oh,
was
but
a
his
two-soul climax.
brainstorming.
Oh. Is the hand not good enough?
Really? Okay.
Salvage the Merlin. Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess it's better to get direct for 4 plus front for 3 than it is to just get front for 5 and then walk into a rest counter.
Yeah. You want to make sure your things are, but does Pyrrhica really have that many resources to just do all this?
I'm not sure. It's been pretty hard to keep track.
It's been a long turn. This is one of those combo turns, you know?
Alright, so
Double Merlin.
and then 1 king to top check 2. Okay.
So it's like a Merlin and a king. So you bounce 1 top check again, and then Escanor.
Okay. Then choosing the bounce mode. Return the card to the hand.
Okay.
Then play over with king to top check 2.
And then how many Escanors are we gonna see?
I think it's 2, but
2 or 1? Because
What?
2 Escanors is like 5 hand that you need, right?
yeah.
Does Pyrrhica actually have 5?
Nah,
I guess he does.
He did double hit the rainstorm, so there should be more.
True.
And he's probably been sitting on 7 hand for a while, so with the clock draw 2, he should have a lot to play with.
Okay, so we got a big turn. Oh, don't forget to play that. Don't forget to play the climax.
So that's for 5? No, that was for 4.
4. So 4 instances of 1.
3 cancels and then 4.
And then this one is hitting in. So
So if Kelvin has a Hachima counter here though, he actually only needs to cancel like once, I think.
yep.
Despite everything. Oh, sorry, I missed that. What was that?
I think it's 3.
Yeah, okay, he does
Okay,
have
here's
to.
the Hachima counter.
And well, I think the bottom line is just he keeps Marine. Yeah, and then as long as he cancels 1 instance, all right. Yeah,
Okay.
and then that also counters the middle. So Kelvin does need to do 7 here, but he did survive the Escanor turn.
But he's on 6, 3-6. Deck is like not high though.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much Kelvin's last turn.
Mhm.
Unless there's a way to... So here's Marine coming down.
Oh, that's a door. Select.
5 cards in deck.
But he's already found the door, so I think he can actually just hard play 1 more Marine and then.
Yeah.
But
does he have hand for it though?
I believe so. Oh, did he look at 2? Oh, okay. Do you have a Kanata in hand to heal with?
Maybe. The one time you don't want to screw up. Unless he's actually on 5.
Okay, he does have a Kanata.
Okay, there we go.
So he can make 3 attacks. Plus the Marines. That looks like exactly 3 hand. So he can go double marine plus 3 attacks.
Double Marine's good enough. I think it's thinking about the numbers. So it'll be like currently it's like 3-2-3-2, and then it depends if you want to do 4-3.
Yeah.
So burn 2.
I think 3 is probably a better number because if any of them trigger crit, it's
Oh, the 2 goes in.
yeah.
3.
Oh. So that's 3 instances for lethal.
This is spicy. Oh! It's okay. You have to always overswing, right? That shows that you have confidence. You know, burn 2, and that goes in. Oh.
Wow.
Wow! What an ending!
That's quite the comeback.
That was that was a good game.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game. I think
I called wrong on whether or not the Hachima counter will come in before Marine, but yeah, I think the shift that Purical went from 2-5 and just clocked himself up to 3-0, while Kelvin held up the Hachima counter, I think. Yeah, that was probably a pretty pivotal move, and I'm not sure. I don't have enough experience with Escanor to say whether waiting 1 turn was strong enough, but if that was the best play, well, just the existence of a rest counter in a deck that has the ability to wall up like that, I think against Escanor was a pretty big deciding factor in the matchup then.
Yeah. It's I think both sides just showed like the best parts of their deck, right? You saw the amount of compression that Escanor got and that lethal finisher.
Yeah.
Just setting off that one big turn. But then you saw like how Kanata can kind of sustain, craft the hand to a good state, set up a good kind of a kill turn of like 2 turns. You know, just kind of set up the kill, and then the hand, and then just both players, both decks performing, or maybe not performing to the maximum capacity. There were definitely some misses in the early bits, but the recovery is one of like the best parts of the Kanata Marine deck too. So overall, both players were fighting for their win and in, right? Maybe win and in. So hopefully, good luck to them. But we finally saw a Hololive and an Escanor.
Yeah, it's a great game to finish on. I feel like we saw like very round 7 finals on the edge type of WS.
Yes.
Like I'm glad we were able to finish on this and not like a SAO.
What's wrong with SAO? SAO is the way right now.
Yeah, SAO is the way. No, SAO mirrors obviously have skillful parts as well, but that game was just, that game was probably just more exciting for all of us to watch. You know.
That's right. It's all about the entertainment.
Yeah.
Right. The entertainment. I think we'll be right back. We'll be finishing up with the standings. We'll let everyone sort it out and everything to finish, and then we'll be right back to standings. We're passing you on to the U side. So stay put, and we'll be back soon.
Weiss Schwarz. It's time to show off the best performance on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Intro deck and booster pack, Bang Dream, Girls Band Party, 5th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. The Academy was the Girls' Orchard. The popular visual novel series joins the stage of Weiss Schwarz. The fruit of Grisaya trial deck and booster pack. Coming soon. Bushiroad. Weiss Schwarz. 10 years journey with Sword Art Online, now on the stage of Weiss Schwarz. Booster Pack Animation Sword Art Online, 10th anniversary, now on sale. Bushiroad.
バンドリガールズバンドパーティー、ポッピンパーティー、キラキラドキドキしたいな。
アフターグロー、今日もいつも通り行こう。
パステルパレット、みんなで最高のステージにしようね。
ロゼリア、 このメンバーで頂点を目指すわ。
ハローハッピーワールド、世界を笑顔に。モルフォニカ、輝く景色を一緒に。
レイザー水蓮、暴れる準備はいい？
個性豊かなバンドメンバーとライブを成功させよう。リズムゲームパートではゲームオリジナル楽曲がたくさん遊べる。さらにライブ背景を MV にして遊べる楽曲も。そしてリズムゲームの体感もパワーアップ。有名カバー楽曲も続々登場。知ってる楽曲でたくさん遊べるよ。最大5人での協力ライブが可能。みんなで協力してライブを成功させよう。バンドライフを楽しむアドベンチャーパート。ラウンジでは次々に交わされるメンバーたちの会話が見られるよ。日常やさまざまな会話を楽しもう。私たちと一緒にキラキラドキドキする毎日を過ごそう。バンドリガールズバンドパーティー大好評配信中。始めよう私たちのバンドライフ。
That's pretty much the end of the tournament. We have the standings now, right? Crazy day, right?
Yeah.
There'll be more tomorrow for the AO region, though. We'll be looking at the top 8, but this is the standings for today. This is who made it through. And we can see first place, we got 2-1 today. No undefeated this time, all right? And then Simon, Kazer, Hakase, and Vaga all going 6-1. The best record you can get right now. Then the X2 that made it was Killua in 6th. 7th was Bim Bom. And then Fresh Cabbage was 8th. And then unfortunately, Kelvin was 9th place that we just...
After that grueling game we went through.
And then Asuna was 10th place. So overall, well done to the people who've made top 8. They'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to be seeing... I don't know how many SAOs there are, but I know there's definitely one player who is not playing SAO. So we might... It might be... stay tuned, guys. But yeah, that is the top 10. If you want to just flip it over, maybe see the rest or not. Maybe there isn't. Yeah?
Oh,
Okay.
alright, wait.
The Creamer.
All right, so the Creamer also ended on 5-2.
Unfortunately, it was doing so
unfortunately.
well. It was
Yeah.
like 5-0, yeah.
Yeah, then we had Carlungus, Cat Uzi, and D1P also ending on 5-2, but unfortunately, not making that top 8 cut. And then following them, we have the 4-3 guys.
Zizoz, Perhiko,
Yep.
Mecha, Kix Machina, Tangier, and Alex Stroyer. Alex Stroyer.
Stroyer.
You don't want to be Alex when you face this.
Yeah.
Face this. But yeah, with that, I think that is just a wrap for today. Once again, EU is coming up next. In fact, it's coming up in 10 minutes. I heard you have a game that you're playing, right?
Maybe I do, possibly.
You might face it. He might be in a suit. So if you're playing EU, look out. If you're watching EU, look out too, right? But yeah, if you want to watch more Weiss Schwarz, EU is coming up very, very soon, and then US will be after, and they'll be back to us tomorrow. Right? So we'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, go check out the EU side for more Weiss. Anything you want to add?
No, I'm looking forward to all the SAO tomorrow.
You mean the SAOs soon?
Yeah, soon, yeah. Possibly in the next tournament. Who knows?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
all for the best.
Okay, so with that, I'd like to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for the production staff as well for running it, and the judging staff for making it all run quick. We'll be back tomorrow for more Weiss Schwarz.
Yep. We'll see you tomorrow in top 8.
See you soon.
Bye.